And so, it continues. Hello there, friend. Welcome back to Max Plays Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. I'm your host, M. Kieran. On the previous episode, we learned a little bit more about Edgeworth. We learned a little bit more about what's going on. The stakes, SL9. And now, after finally entering the final boss area of the game, let's be real here, we discovered that a set of prints actually match not anyone else we expected, but rather Emma. Let's dive right in. No. How could this be? Unless it was Emma, the one who killed the freaking guy. What are Emma's fingerprints doing here? Excuse me. Hey, have you found the match? Whose fingerprints were they? Huh? It seems the fingerprints are too old. Yeah, too old. They aren't clear enough to get a match. Oh, that's too bad. I thought they would be Dark's prints. Psst, psst.
Hey, you over there! What's going on here? What are the kid's prints doing?
He saw no!
What are the kid's prints doing inside the chief's safe?
Don't ask me.
Let's
just keep this information from Emma for now, even though you just screamed it across the room.
Here, maybe you should hold on to this.
Strip of cloth folded.
Well, was I of any help?
Of course. Thanks to your ID card, we were able to get some hard evidence. Oh, I was about to say, I have a feeling we're about to get kicked out.
Now, that's not very kind, is it? In other words, if it wasn't for his ID card, he would have been useless. Wasn't that right, you in the coat?
Eek!
Chief Gant!
We didn't think you'd be back so soon.
Fortunately, I am a man who believes in signs. As I was walking to my meeting, I happened to look out a window and saw a stray dog run into a pole. And then I thought of a certain detective.
Don't mind my phone.
You mean, me, sir? Oh, now and then, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you all to leave.
Yes, sir, sorry.
Oh, you in the coat. Me, sir. Drop off your ID on the way out, please. You won't be needing it. You won't be needing it anymore. But sir... I said, now get out of my office. Yes, sir.
Oh, gumshoe. We'll be on our way too, then.
Wait. The one without the spiky hair. Don't go just yet.
Me, sir?
I would like a word with you.
But sir, I'm not a licensed scientific investigator yet.
You with the spiky hair. You are free to go.
Mr. Wright? No. Why would we leave her? No, screw you. I'm not legally bound to leave that girl with you.
Look, pal, I've told you once, I told you 1,000 times. The chief's office is off limits. But now, you just had to go sneaking in there like that, didn't you?
I thought you said you didn't care anymore if you were fired.
Yeah, but if I knew it would be like this, I never would have said it.
Now that I've seen the evidence Chief Gant was hiding in his office, I think I'm finally starting to get the picture. It's hard to believe anyone would keep quiet about it all this time.
Anyway, you listen to me, pal. I'm trying to smooth things over with I'm gonna try and go and smooth things over with the chief again. Later, pal. How am I gonna pay my bills without a job?
After that, I heard from Emma. She said the police want to ask her some questions, so she'll be busy for the rest of the day. On the other hand, I will be busy too. Let's go talk to the one person who's been keeping quiet this whole time. I see. So the chief asked Emma to come in for questioning. It's no use thinking about it. Tomorrow's the final day in court. I am committed to doing everything I can to defend you, which is why I am here.
But I have already told you all I can.
What you have told me over these last couple of days is absolutely nothing. Not a single useful thing.
Yeah, it's true. Really, I believe I did mention something quite important. Something I told you right at the beginning. I said that I was the one who stabbed Detective Goodman.
You know, I think I finally figured it out. Who it is you're hiding behind those words?
Huh. Mia did a good job mentoring you. I am rather jealous.
Huh.
It seems Edgeworth was right.
Edgeworth?
Once you are convinced you know something, no one can persuade you otherwise. Thick-headed is the term I would use, I believe.
Now's my chance to get her to tell me the rest of the story. We're kind of bonding right now.
Why have you been keeping quiet, Lana?
I have to admit I was more than a little perplexed at first. You insist that you did it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. That's when it hit me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth. It's that you're incapable of doing so, because of a certain individual.
What an intriguing notion. A certain individual, you might say. So you think I am protecting this person?
Protecting? No, I think afraid of is more like it. If I'm not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence.
For argument's sake, Mr. Wright, whom may I ask is this person you are speaking of? The one I am supposedly so afraid of. Who is this person's name? Oh, come on, let's be real, it's Damon. Come on, come on.
Well, Miss Sky.
Mr. Wright, you are addressing the chief prosecutor. Do not forget your place.
I take it she's still not ready to spill the beans.
My apologies. Could you please tell me a bit more about the circumstances?
Or maybe it was me. Could you please tell me more about the circumstances?
We were partners until 2 years ago. I respected him as a detective.
Assuming he is respectable, then tell me something. Why would he try to hide his crimes?
His crimes?
Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before a board of inquiry for what you did. Specifically, hiding and forging evidence.
Of course, these are serious offenses.
Why is it, though, that Chief Gaunt's name was never, ever mentioned?
Chief Gaunt?
Edgeworth didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly investigated that evidence...
Me. I had access because I was second in command of that investigation.
Yes, you, but also one other. Damon Gaunt.
Huh. If you intend to accuse Chief Gaunt, you will need more than just words. Show me proof that Chief Gaunt falsified evidence in that case.
There's like 10,000 things, but let's go with the jar, because I like the jar. I just found this in a safe in the chief's office. This jar piece and this strip of cloth. Do you know what these are? They are pieces of evidence from the SL9 incident. The person concealing evidence was none other than the Chief Gaunt himself. Now tell me, why are you taking all the blame for him? Why are you taking the fall?
Touché, Mr. Wright. It is, as you surmised, I cannot disobey the Chief's orders, even if it means being found guilty of murder.
Why not?
Come now, Mr. Wright. You can't possibly expect me to be able to tell you that. Oh, did Emma kill the guy? And you're doing this to protect Emma? 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate.
In the murder of Detective Goodman?
Or perhaps I should say, follow orders. Yes, that's more accurate than cooperate.
Where were these orders?
Although I can't tell you the details, I can say that I was given an order that day. I need you to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. I may or may not have made a little mess. You'll find it inside the trunk of Miles Edgeworth's car.
Just as I suspected, despite what everyone believes. You are not the one who murdered Detective Goodman.
Correct. I was trying to take the body out of Edgeworth's car. The trunk was broken. I discovered that murder weapon while inspecting the body.
The murder weapon? You mean Edgeworth's knife?
No. When I found the body, this knife was stuck in it.
The knife from the SL9 incident! Serial killer Joe Dark's knife!
I couldn't just leave that knife in him, so I took it out and stabbed him with another knife.
That would be Edgeworth's knife!
That's right. Even though he was already dead, my hands were shaking at the thought of stabbing him. That's why I ended up cutting my hand.
And that is the reason for the bandage on your right hand.
Yes, it seems that I got blood on the victim's shoes as well. And then she saw me just as I plunged the knife in.
Miss Starr. Why did you need to hide Dark's knife so badly?
Oh. It took a lot of work to finally close a Dark case 2 years ago. It was over with. I didn't ever want it to be opened again. My intent was to prevent that, by whatever means possible.
So you hid Dark's knife.
The weapon used to stab the detective was evidence in the Joe Dark case. If word got out, which it would, the reporters would have a field day with that.
So you wrapped the knife in your scarf and hid it in Edgeworth's exhaust pipe.
Right. Then I called my sister to tell her what happened and to ask her to hide the knife that was inside my muffler.
You asked Emma?
I didn't want anyone on the force to know about this.
That would explain why Emma is so confident about Lena's innocence.
Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them that day.
A bad feeling?
The truth is, after I received those orders from Chief Gaunt, the first thing I did was make a phone call. A phone call to Patrolman Jake Marshall.
To Marshall? Why on earth would you call him?
The lead investigator for Lesson 9 incident had been murdered. I wanted the fact to be kept hidden, and I needed help. He was the only other person I could trust. Or at least I thought I could trust him at the time. However, it seems that after I spoke to him, he went off on an escapade of his own.
Oh, you mean?
Not wanting the case to die, he decided to take things into his own hands.
He disguised himself as Officer Goodman and tried to steal the evidence.
He had already stolen the ID card, but it seemed he still hadn't made up his mind to break into the evidence room. After my phone call, any remaining doubts he had must have disappeared.
So your phone call caused the incident in the evidence room.
Interesting. I'm afraid that's all I can tell you.
But Lana...
You have earned my respect, Mr. Wright, both as a defense attorney and an investigator. Now please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow.
Tomorrow's trial? There's only one way to drive off Lanus' demons. I've got to get to the bottom of everything.
I like that a bunch of the questions have already been answered, but now we're finally working on the bottom of the layer of lies.
Detective Goodman's real murderer. And the what went down in the chief's office 2 years ago. To be next stage.
And so, that's probably the last time we're gonna hear that tune. There are probably like 2 episodes left in this LP. Real talk. Probably, yeah, no, the next episode will be the final one.
Pretty much. Unless this episode goes really long. If I can... Okay, real talk. I don't think I can get this trial done in the next, like, 40 minutes. But maybe I can. Who knows? Maybe this episode will be the final one. Who knows? There's only one way to find out. This is the defendant lobby, alright. But there is no defendant. I've been trying to reach Lana all morning. Where could she be? And where is Emma, for that matter? It almost seems as if...
Who's the... Something's been happening behind the scenes. Oh.
Well, that voice is basically the same though.
Something has been happening behind the scenes.
Edgeworth!
Knowing you have already figured it out. Who the owner of the 77777 ID number is.
Well, I have a pretty strong hunch. Looks like I'm not the only one who's figured it out.
You know, the only reason this trial didn't reach a verdict yesterday is because there was still room for doubt on this ID record. If that number does belong to whom you suspect, then no doubt will remain. After all, he hasn't been officially charged with anything.
True. Not yet.
In any event, once all doubt has been removed from that list, I can call for a ruling on the defendant. 5 minutes after the trial starts, Lana will be found guilty.
But she didn't do it!
I figured you would say as much. That's why I came here, to hear what you have to say.
This is the first time he's ever done something like this. Lana's hiding something, and the only way we'll ever know the truth is to draw it out of her.
The truth.
Everything goes back to the SL9 incident.
Don't be stupid. Today's the last day of the trial. We don't have time to reminisce about the past.
That depends on you.
Huh.
If she's found guilty, you will lose your only chance to find out what really happened.
Huh. I'll think about it. See you in court, right?
This is it. If I'm ever going to find out what Chief Godwa has on her, what Chief Gant has on her, it's now. Let's do this. Final trial, final day, final showdown. Let's do this!
Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky.
The defense is ready, Your Honor. One last time.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. One last time as well. Normally, this is when the prosecution puts forth its opening statement. Huh? But before that, the police chief has a proposal to make.
Chief Gant? Already screwing things up. Look at his vanishing in like a ghost.
Good morning, folks. How is everyone doing? Hey, Yuji, been back to the pool yet? No, I've been drowning enough as it is in my work.
That's a good line. That's a good line.
Oh, that's a good one. Don't think I can top that. If you don't mind me asking, Chief, exactly what is this proposal of yours? Lana, that is to say, the defendant, has asked me if she could speak directly to the court.
She wants to do what?
Having heard what she intends to say, I feel she should be granted her request. In the end, it should save everyone a lot of trouble and time.
No, she's gonna admit to the crime.
What's this all about, defendant?
I would just like to make one simple request, and I will be finished.
Well then, what's your request?
Your Honor, I would like you to put an immediate end to this trial. Huh? I confess to all charges against me. On February the 21st of this year, I murdered Detective Bruce Goodman in the underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office at 5:15 p.m. No, Lana!
Order! What?
You can't! Your Honor, the defendant's claim does not change the defense's plea. In that case, Mr. Wright, I no longer require your services.
But Lena!
Your Honor, I hereby forfeit my right to an attorney. The prosecution may lack direct evidence against me, but it has sufficiently proven its case through testimony and circumstantial evidence. I would like you to render your verdict now, if you please.
Well, this is odd. I'm waiting for Larry Burt's to come in any minute now. This has been another really strange case, and it's been like 2 minutes. Well, the defendant certainly has the right to self-representation. A request is legally valid, although this is an unprecedented situation. Indeed, it appears there's no further need to continue this trial, even if Mr. Wright may feel otherwise.
This can't be happening.
It appears the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant.
I had a feeling that would happen. One moment, Your Honor.
Mr. Edgeworth?
The prosecution has not yet proven the defendant guilty beyond reasonable doubt. Any ruling at this stage would certainly be premature. Oh, come on now, Worthy. I understand that this is a difficult time for you, but why don't you just be a little good boy and keep your mouth shut? I don't think I care for your tone, Chief Gaunt. Oh, what was that again? I must have misheard you. Creating another fabrication to cover up your past mistakes. Sorry, but I am no longer the naive little boy you would have me be.
Yeah, that was a dope-ass line. You go, Edgy.
With this sudden confession from the defendant, it's obvious to me some kind of deal was struck behind the scenes. Some kind of deal, you say? Not everyone operates as you do, Worthy. I thought so. Your Honor, the prosecution would like to change its first witness.
To whom?
As its first witness, the prosecution would like to call Miss Emma Sky. I request the court hears her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, I am exercising my right to self-representation. I don't think we need to I don't care what you think, Lena Sky. Yeah! Edgeworth, you're the best. I don't care. She's like, I want to be found guilty. Edge is like, no. No. We're gonna do this the right way. The exposure of truth sometimes results in tragedy. However, no matter how tragic the truth may be, it would be an even greater tragedy to avert one's eyes from it.
Very well. The court should grant the prosecution's request. Mostly because I got nowhere else to be for the rest of the day, so I might as well do my job.
He's waiting for the latest update to go through Love Live.
That's okay with you, Chief Gaunt?
Oh, Worthy, you will live to regret this, mark my words. Miss Emma Sky, please take the stand.
Looks like Edgeworth has decided to take the horse by the reins.
Now then, witness, please state your name and occupation. My name is Emma Sky. My occupation, I am Lana's little sister, and I want to be a scientific investigator. 2 years ago, you encountered the serial killer Joe Dark, of the Joe Dark killings. Oh man, imagine a future in which, like, serial murderers are known by, like, their online handles. You were involved in the XX Shadow Fox XX killings. Or like you were involved in the Naruto Lover 1991 killings, weren't you? Feel free to leave your terrible, worst internet pseudonym in the comments down below. Is this correct? Yes. I am trying my hardest to forget about that, though.
I am sorry, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to recall those events one more time.
Mr. Edgeworth, please remember this trial concerns the murder of Detective Goodman. It is an incident that was resolved 2 years ago. Really all that relevant?
Yes, it most certainly is.
I like that this is like Edgeworth taking the reins, literally.
Well, okay then. I don't have anywhere else to be, so let's do our jobs.
He sure gave in fast. I wish I got that treatment.
Now, please testify about what happened to you 2 years ago.
The trip to yesteryear has finally begun. It's bound to lead to the truth behind this trial. Let's do this!
2 years ago. I was waiting in my sister's office that day. A man came running in and took me hostage. Neil Marshall rescued me, but I'll never forget what I saw that instant. That almost looks like Gaunt, actually. That almost looks like Gaunt. The man raised up his knife and stabbed Mr. Marshall in the chest.
It's a good thing you weren't harmed.
I passed out. I don't remember much.
That's understandable. However, please tell me, Mr. Edgeworth, what does this testimony have to do with Detective Goodman's murder?
Huh. That will soon become apparent, Your Honor.
You've got to admire him for his courage, considering he has no evidence. What a beautiful man! Mwah!
Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination.
Cross-examination! Alright, let's do this. 2 years ago. What's the only statement here that's a problem? I was waiting in my sister's office that day. A man came running in and took me hostage. Neil Marshall rescued me. But I'll never forget what I saw that instant.
Can you tell us about that?
Mr. Marshall jumped on dark, and then the lights went out. Oh man, that's totally Gaunt, isn't it?
The lights?
It was just about this time of year. There was a terrible storm going on, and lightning struck nearby.
So the electricity went out.
Wait a minute. If it was pitch dark in that room, you shouldn't have been able to see anything, right?
Right, but just then lightning flashed again outside. That sudden flash left an unforgettable image of the scene in my mind.
I see.
I told the detective about what I saw then.
The detective?
Yes, Detective Goodman. He was in charge of the case.
Detective Goodman? The victim?
Yeah, always hear more.
So you spoke with Detective Goodman about this 2 years ago?
Yes, that's what's so scary about this trial.
And you told Detective Goodman about what you saw.
It looks like we're both working together, I like that. Yes, but at the time, the words just couldn't come out. That's why I drew a picture.
A picture? Yes, I think she mentioned that before.
Well, Mr. Wright, have you heard enough?
No.
This picture the witness drew, I believe it has a very important meaning.
But the list of evidence I was given 2 years ago didn't contain a picture.
Witness, would you mind if we added this a statement to your testimony?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, you would mind.
Oh, it's not lost, girl.
You drew a picture of the scene you witnessed, right?
Yes, I wanted to do everything I could to help the investigation. I can still see it now, whenever I close my eyes.
That's strange. I took over the case after Prosecutor Marshall died. Yet I never received any picture. Perhaps the witness is mistaken?
But I did draw it, I swear. I'm not just imagining it, I think.
This picture that Emma drew. That reminds me. I guess I should check out the evidence again.
Well, anyway, let's continue. This scene This scene that imprinted an image in your mind, can you please describe it to us?
The man? Oh, I know where we're going with this. I drew a picture, but it has been lost. Girl. It has not been lost. I can assure you, it has not been lost.
A picture is drawn on the back of the evidence list in magic marker. I've got a very bad feeling about this.
Hey girl. Yeah! The music is gone, which means we did it.
Mr. Edgeworth, this little girl put all her heart into drawing that picture. And yet you still insist on denying its existence?
Huh? Hey, I'm not the bad guy here. All I'm saying is that as the prosecutor for that case, I wasn't handed such a picture.
That may well be. But that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Behold!
This is the evidence list for the SO9 incident.
It's page 2.
Please turn it over, Your Honor.
Turn it over? Turn it? Where? What is this?
Yes, what is that?
Hey, that's it. That's the picture I drew.
Indeed. Two men appear to be wrestling here.
What's the meaning of this? What are you doing with that list?
Me?
Only the prosecutor in charge should have access to that list.
These lists, they're different from each other.
What?
It would appear, Mr. Edgeworth, that the evidence list you were handed 2 years ago was incomplete. These two lists fit together to form one. You can see the marks here, where they were torn apart from each other.
And at last, each of them brought a half and it has now become whole. It's a metaphor for their love. I'm sorry. It's a metaphor for their love.
As you see, Mr. Edgeworth, it's quite obvious what happened. 2 years ago, only half of the evidence in that case ever reached you.
What? What? Nonsense.
Order. Who would have thought the picture would have been drawn on the back of the list?
That was handed to Detective Goodman in the questioning room.
Wait a minute. If this list was torn in half, then that means... Your Honor!
Are you alright, Mr. Wright? Your eyes are bulging from your head.
If the evidence list was torn in half, then there might be more of the drawing on the back of Mr. Edgeworth's list.
Huh.
Yes, that's quite conceivable, isn't it, Mr. Edgeworth?
It's possible. Let's see. What?
And it was established earlier that Edgeworth doesn't look at the back of pages because he didn't look at the back of the restaurant ad.
There's something wrong.
Do you even have to ask?
Edgeworth is like,
I am the worst prosecutor there has ever been. I resign.
pulls out his gun and his badge, slams them on the freaking podium.
Sorry, Your Honor. There is something drawn on the back of my list. This is that thing.
What? Okay, real talk. I had a mental image of the things that we could have possibly seen. That was not it. In all of my mental thinking and reasoning, that was not in it. I have no idea what the hell that is doing there.
What's that thing? That thing was dancing in the evidence room.
Apparently the head of criminal affairs used this for his blueprint.
I guess he was out of scrap paper?
The evidence list has been updated. Oh, yo, we can read that whole thing. Give me a minute. List of evidence in the SO9 incident. The remaining half was found in Gaunt's desk. What are we seeing here? What are we seeing here? This is something, isn't it? This is something. Because when you put them like this... Oh man, this means something, but I don't know what it is yet.
Well, very well, witness. Will you please testify about the picture you drew 2 years ago?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
What's wrong with Emma? She seemed to be thinking about something when she saw the picture.
Emma's picture! This is the picture I drew 2 years ago. As you can see, my talents have improved severely if you go and check out my DeviantArt page. The flash of lightning was so bright that all I could see were the shadows. After that, I must have fainted. This picture shows exactly what I saw that instant.
To think a flash of lightning could burn such an image in your mind.
Thanks to that thought. To that though, she was able to show us exactly what she saw.
Well, I don't see any contradictions here. This clearly shows Joe Dark about a murder prosecutor Neil Marshall. The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Cross-examination! Oh my god, the best part of this game. Okay. Deep breath. Let's go. This is the picture that I drew 2 years ago. I don't see much of a contradiction there. The flash of lightning was so bright, all I could see were the shadows. After that, I must have fainted. The picture shows exactly what I saw that instant.
That's strange. She claims it's exactly the scene that was imprinted in her mind. And yet, there's clearly a contradiction here.
Contradiction? Step. I'm the smartest person there's ever been. The flash of lightning was so bright. After that, I must have fainted. Is it really exactly what happened?
Sorry for asking so many times, but are you sure you drew exactly what you saw?
Of course, this is exactly the scene.
It wasn't influenced in any way from your talks with the detectives?
Are you insinuating we somehow manipulated her memory, Mr. Wright?
No, I mean, we know that, freaking witnesses' testimonies are all garbage anyway, but I was just saying. I better watch out, or he might find some way to cut my salary.
I drew this picture before I heard anything from the detectives, so I don't think anyone's story would have influenced me.
Mr. Wright, is there something that's bothering you about this picture?
Huh? Oh, well, That's strange. She claims it's exactly the scene that was imprinted in her mind. And yet, there's clearly a contradiction here.
Okay, so let's go back through that. That is the fourth statement. Oh, girl, baby girl, that's not what you saw. Yeah. I'm like punching the sky, just getting so excited.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this picture the witness drew contains a blatant contradiction.
What? But I still remember it just like it was yesterday.
Mr. Wright, perhaps it would be faster if you simply pointed out this contradiction for us. What part of the picture contradicts the report?
Okay, it has to be like this then. Because it's not the knife, because he was stabbed in the back. Oh, come on. Oh, okay. Oh, damn it. Okay. I'll just do the dagger next time.
I don't see what's so strange about that.
That's because the drawing stinks.
Mr. Wright, how could you?
The act of making an innocent girl cry should warrant the death penalty.
I guess he means I shouldn't shift the blame to others.
Yes, as long as the defense has learned his lesson.
I better take another look at the autopsy report and his picture.
Mr. Wright, perhaps it would be fast if you
Okay. It's the knife then? That's weird, but I mean, I guess.
The contradiction, of course, lies here. Take a look at the knife the man is holding.
Oh, is it because the knife is flat? It's not because it's stabbing him in the back? Really?
If you look closely, you can see the tip is broken.
In fact, you don't even have to look closely to see that.
But Mr. Wright, look at the evidence. See the murder weapon? Its tip is broken too.
If I recall, the tip of the knife was found broken off in the victim's body.
It was the conclusive piece of evidence that proved Joe Dark was the murderer.
I'm afraid it's not so simple, Emma.
Huh. Where could you possibly see a problem?
It's obvious, really. The victim suffered a...
Oh, that quotation mark.
The victim suffered a single stab wound to the back. If the victim was only stabbed once, then the murder weapon should not yet be broken.
Yeah.
What's the meaning of that?
Perhaps the knife was broken beforehand.
No, because the piece of the blade was found inside of him.
Sorry, but I'm afraid that's not possible. The tip of the knife was found inside the victim's body. If it was broken beforehand, it couldn't possibly wind up there.
Outside on the sidelines, Gaunt is just like eating his tie.
Oh, I said something, but it flew by too fast.
The tip of the knife was undeniably discovered within the victim's body. The only possible explanation is the witness's memory is mistaken.
That's why I asked her so many times if she was sure she remembered correctly. I believe you were annoyed at the time, but she was sure she remembered correctly.
But there's no other way to explain this inconsistency.
Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth. There is another explanation. Have you forgotten already about a little something called falsified evidence?
You are treading on thin ice, right?
All I'm saying is that this broken knife might be the piece of evidence that was forged. You can't deny the possibility.
No.
Order. Are you saying the investigation really was corrupted?
Sorry about that. I've been recording all day, but I'm excited though, because we are. Will be the final episode probably. Anyhow.
Are you saying the investigation was really corrupted?
Your Honor, please allow me to once again go over the events that took place the day of the murder. Let's once again review the entirety of this game. The police department and the prosecutor's office were holding a ceremony that day. After receiving the King of Prosecutors award at the ceremony, Neil Marshall questioned Joe Dark along with Damon Gaunt. During his questioning, Joe Dark fled the room. Prosecutor Marshall chased after him and was killed by Drake. Drake? Dark. Drake? I can't believe Drake would do this. That hot like bling. It could only mean one thing.
I'm sorry.
I know when that hot like bling. It could only mean one thing. You used to call me on your cell phone. And the nights when you
Needed my oh wait. You used to call me on your cell phone.
late night when you need my love.
I'm sorry. Anyhow,
It is my belief that somewhere in this story, there is a lie.
I am not lying. The man really was holding up a broken knife.
Huh. If that is true, then there is no other way around it. This could not have been the actual murder weapon.
Huh.
There must have been another broken knife.
What are the chances of there being 2 broken knives?
Another broken knife besides Joe Dark's. Could there have been one?
There's another one.
If the witness is this adamant about the accuracy of what she saw, it can't just be explained away by a simple observational error.
Mr. Wright?
In that instant, Emma really did see a broken knife.
It's the shield. It's the trophy.
I assume then that you have some information about this other broken knife. If so, please feel free to enlighten us.
The murder weapon was already broken prior to the murder. There's only one way. Take a look at this. Here's the real murder weapon.
Okay. I feel... Okay. Think, Max. Think. I kinda wanna show this picture to be like, yo, it's the spear, but I'm not sure. Like, I'm really not sure. Only 4 strikes. Let's do it. Let's do it.
The answer lies in the past. 2 years in the past. Right here inside this picture.
This is a picture of the award ceremony.
What is it, Mr. Ashworth?
It's the broken murder weapon.
Notice the award prosecutor Marshall is holding.
That's a pretty nice image. That's a broken knife.
As we earlier concluded, the knife in the picture was not Joe Dark's knife. That being the case, the knife the witness saw was in all likelihood this award!
Whoops, sorry about that.
Order!
Neil Marshall was awarded King of Prosecutors that day. As an award, he was given this broken shield and a broken knife. When he chased after Joe Dark, he pulled out this knife. Being a prosecutor, he did not carry a pistol. This broken knife was the only weapon he had in this dangerous situation.
But that can't be.
Are you implying, Phoenix, that the person standing tall in that scene holding the weapon is not Dark, but actually Marshall? That's wild.
That can't be.
Oh, and why not, Mr. Edgeworth?
Because if the King of Prosecutors award knife was the murder weapon, then the murderer and the victim would be reversed.
What do you mean?
I mean, the man raising a knife would have been the man raising a knife would have been Prosecutor Neil Marshall.
Ow. Ow! Damn!
But the prosecutor was the one who actually died.
That's true. What's going on here?
Huh. It seems Mr. Wright has been a bit too eager to jump to conclusions.
Wait, I remember now. I remember everything.
Witness?
Mr. Edgeworth,
What is it?
could you show me your evidence list again, please?
His list? The one with that picture scribbled in the back.
I knew it. This picture, I'm the one who drew it.
What?
You drew what?
That's right. The list wasn't torn in half at the time I drew this picture. What is that thing? All this time I've been trying so hard to forget. It must have been locked. I must have locked this part away deep inside me. That background song completely ruined that scene.
Perhaps it would be best if we added this to the witness's testimony. Would you please tell us what you have recalled, Miss Sky?
Yes, Your Honor.
First, the knife mix-up. Now, the blue badger? This should be interesting.
Emma's recollection. Oh my god, it's like the third testimony already. Let me just breathe for a moment. This is generally where I would cut an episode, so give me a second to just gather my thoughts. Stretch. Because this is going to be a long episode. Alright.
Let's do this! Emma's recollection.
When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed towards both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger. I wasn't... Oh, it's the vase. It's the vase. It's got that ridiculous, stupid shape. It's the only other thing from that room. He wasn't in the room, but I'm sure I saw his shadow.
This is certainly most unusual. Also, wouldn't the blue badger go on to be made like 2 years after?
Try impossible. The head detective of criminal affairs didn't even design him until this year.
That would mean he didn't even exist 2 years ago.
Yes, well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Stop, please. Stop, please. Do not pursue this any further.
Lana?
What's the meaning of this? That was a new sprite for Lana. Please remain seated in the defendant's chair.
But you cannot do this. I've already confessed the crime. Why can't you just leave it be at that?
Chief Prosecutor Sky. We have already come this far. It's too late to turn back.
Silence! The defense will now begin its cross-examination. Bailiff, please detain the defendant.
Yogi? It seems we're finally getting to the core of the matter.
Cross-examination. When I saw that man raise his knife, I panicked and rushed towards both of them. I think I knocked away the man with the knife. Just then there was another flash of lightning, and that's when I saw the blue badger. It's the vase.
Are you sure about this?
Of course, see? I even drew a picture of him here.
But the head detective of criminal affairs thought up this hideous beast, and that was just this year. The blue badger didn't exist 2 years ago. This is all quite verifiable.
I know it sounds strange. I was surprised too when I saw him at the police department. I had this nagging feeling that I'd seen him before somewhere else. Now I finally remember.
Oh, brother. Just when you thought that thing had caused enough commotion.
Tell us, where in the room did you see him dancing?
Shadow?
His shadow? So you mean you didn't actually see his face? With its winning smile and all.
That's a winning smile, I guess. That's right, but I still remember it. He had 3 creepy horns. Wait a minute. Am I wrong? Who else has 3 creepy horns? No, okay, never mind. Actually, you know what? 3 creepy horns? Nah. No creepy horns here, everybody. Oh yeah! Joe Dark. That man is super dead. Also, real talk, he's got the most nothing face. He looks like someone you went to high school with. Anyways.
This is pointless. That thing couldn't have possibly existed 2 years ago. The witness must be mistaken.
That may well be. But that's important. But what's important is what caused her to think she saw what she did.
Oh, and I suppose you have an explanation. If so, then by all means, please tell us who this shadow really is, or what it really is.
What was it Emma saw when the lightning flashed? Who is this blue badger, really?
Yep, I have a feeling.
The blue badger hadn't even been dreamed up when Emma drew this picture. Yet she's certain she saw its shadow. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the defense's belief that on that fateful day 2 years ago, there indeed was something that looked similar to the blue badger. Something that is now sitting in this very room.
Mr. Wright.
In this room? Very well, Mr. Wright. What is it that the witness saw in that instance? Please show us this mysterious blue badger look-alike.
Gladly. Here you go.
Yeah! The mysterious blue badger was in fact this!
But that's... what exactly is that?
I believe it's some sort of jar.
But Mr. Wright, that doesn't look anything like the blue badger.
Indeed it doesn't, as it stands now with just a plain jar. However, what if we were to change our viewpoint?
Our viewpoint?
I've got to show them the correct angle to look at this from.
Oh yeah, oh this is cute actually. There we go. Is it this? Is that it?
This isn't right. I've got to make it look more like the badger.
Oh, no.
Allow me to remind you the defense. Allow me to remind you the defense.
Allow me to remind you the defense. Its case. Oh, never mind.
Allow me to remind you the defense. Its case hinges on the witness's drawing. If Mr. Wright can't match the shape the witness drew, we cannot accept his claim.
I've got to find just the right angle. Maybe I should rotate it vertically a bit more, or horizontally.
Come on, Mr. Wright, you can do it.
I've got to show them the correct angle.
Oh. Oh, this is totally it, isn't it? Yeah, this is totally it.
Yeah! Well, is this a miracle, or what? No one can possibly deny this jar's resemblance to the blue badger.
Oh my god, that dance.
No, it can't be.
Calm your ruffles, Edgeworth.
Order. The defense has proven its claim. The mysterious blue badger witnessed on the day of the crime was actually this,
Although we all enjoyed Mr. Wright's dramatic performance, one question remains. What's your point?
What do you mean?
So that badger thing was actually just a jar. That doesn't change anything.
I'm afraid that's where you're wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. You see, this changes everything.
Indeed. Very well then. Please tell us. What's different now that we know the witness saw this jar?
The location, the murder weapon, the murderer. Well, seeing as we have this photo here. Is it the murder weapon? I feel like the location is the easiest answer because it tells you, okay, well, it took place here, but does that matter? Or the murder weapon. I feel like the murder weapon is just too much of a leap in logic. Let's go with the nice safe bet, which is the location. It was on the other side of the room.
Allow me to take these in turn. At the moment of the murder, the witness saw this jar.
Not only that, but she saw it at a very specific angle.
Knowing this, where could she have seen this jar?
Where?
The location of the jar is shown in a picture taken on the day of the crime. It's on a shelf in the office of Damon Gaunt.
But the body was found lying near Lena Sky's desk. The witness testified so herself.
Yes, and it is these two facts that reveal that what actually transpired. You see, the struggle between Dark and Marshall did not take place in Lena Sky's office. It happened on the other side of the room, in Chief Gaunt's office.
Are you implying the murderer moved the victim's body from Damon Gaunt's office to Lena Sky's office?
Oh my god, phone, stop giving me notifications. I'm doing the thing right now.
Yes, precisely that. Precisely that, Edgeworth.
Why would he do that? There is no reason.
Exactly.
Huh?
If there wasn't a reason, he wouldn't have gone through the trouble. The only logical conclusion is that there was a reason.
Do you know what that reason was, Mr. Wright?
I finally figured it out. So this is why Lana tried to stop the trial. It's too late to quit now, though. Please recall the witness's testimony. She said she knocked away the man who was holding up the knife.
He walked into my knife. He walked into my knife 10 times. Oh. So, you're telling me that Emma is kind of to blame for the death of Marshall. Ah, I see.
In the next instant, the jar was hit and flew.
And flew through the jar. The jar was hit and flew through the...
and flew the jar. Now tell me, what could have sent the jar flying?
Oh, well, that would have been the impact the madman when he was knocked into the wall.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I may draw your attention to this picture once more. If the man was knocked in the direction of the shelf the jar was sitting on, what would he have hit?
Oh no.
The sort of armor, holding a very sharp and dangerous looking sword.
It's actually a spear, Your Honor, but yes, the spear tip. And since the man who was knocked into the armor was carrying a broken knife, he would have had to have been Neil Marshall, wielding the Prosecutor's Award.
No, Mr. Wright, you can't be thinking.
Yes, there is another possibility of what actually transpired in that room.
Another possibility?
Of course, the perpetrator would have had no idea, but nevertheless, I don't know if I can go through with this.
Mr. Wright, what's the matter?
If events took place as the defense theorizes, then the outcome is obvious. In that moment, assuming the man Emma Sky knocked away was actually Prosecutor Neil Marshall.
Oof. Oh,
that's freaked up.
You mean Mr. Marshall died because of me? No. Thud. And she's passed out, alright.
I never imagined her testimony would lead us here.
So it was the witness who took the victim's life. and then proved so with her own testimony. This is unprecedented.
I like this post. What are you saying?
I'm sorry, Miss Sky, but given the circumstances,
Joe Doc murdered Prosecutor Marshall. How can you think it was Emma? How dare you try to pin the crime on her?
Imagine that coming from you. If you recall, it was you who admitted to forging evidence 2 years ago. The reason you moved Prosecutor Marshall's body was to keep anyone else from finding out about what Emma did, wasn't it?
I assure you, Mr. Edgeworth, I had no idea what you were talking about. If you hope to have anyone believe your insane allegations, I'm afraid you're going to have proof. Tell me, do you have any conclusive evidence that proves my sister killed Neil Marshall?
Evidence?
I'm willing to bet you don't.
Yes, it certainly would be difficult to prove this with evidence.
If we don't have evidence, then we'll have to rely on testimony.
I'm afraid I won't work in this case. Both parties involved in the accident are dead.
We certainly can't get dead people to testify. This has all been a wild goose chase from the beginning.
Huh. Touché, Miss Sky. Of course. That only leaves us with one possibility.
Huh? You mean there's still another possibility?
What do you mean, Mr. Ashworth?
I mean the possibility that the victim has left us a message. For better or for worse, Mr. Marshall did not die instantly. He may have left behind the name of the person who took his life. Somehow.
That's impossible.
Well, Mr. Wright, this is the only possibility left to you. A message from the deceased. Does such a message even exist?
I've got to think back to the court record. The real murderer's name that the victim may have left behind.
Yeah, clearly.
Is this message from the deceased is already in our possession, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to prove my sister a murderer?
Do not be mistaken, Miss Sky. Our purpose is not to accuse Emma of any crime. There is only one thing we seek: the truth. No matter how painful it may be.
Now then, Mr. Wright, please show us the piece of evidence that conveys the message from the deceased.
Oh, it's the jar.
This is the message left by the deceased.
This is that blue badger from before, right?
Oh, is he going to just speak it to kill his name?
If that thing could, I'm sure it would.
Looks like everyone's forgotten this is just a jar. A message was left here, on the surface of this jar.
Actually, I want to check the list of evidence. Okay. I was wondering if it would actually tell you the items on it.
What do you mean?
If you look closely, you can see a faint trail of blood in this jar.
It looks like someone wiped the blood away.
Luminol!
Huh.
Yes, but notice, for some reason, the blood on some of the fragments was not wiped away. Yes.
Oh yes, there's a line here and a line there, drawn in blood.
So what are you saying? Are these dots? Where are these dots? Are you saying that these lines?
Oh my god. Take two.
Are you saying that these dots were once lines?
Prosecutor Marshall did not die instantly. He used the few precious moments left to him to leave behind a message.
One that someone apparently wiped away. But blood must have seeped into the jar where the lines changed directions.
Precisely so. All we need to do is connect these points, and the victim's message will become apparent.
No. I like her word. Sprite is really cute.
Mr. Wright, What kind of message did the victim leave for us?
Your Honor, I believe this blood stains will reveal to us the answer. I've got to connect these dots to make letters. There's only one thing.
Oh, I see it now. I see it.
There's only one thing the victim would have written, given the circumstances. The murderer's name.
I see it now. Oh man, for a second I was like... I wasn't seeing it. I wasn't seeing it for a moment. But now I do. Anyways, it says Emma.
It's a defense attorney's duty to prove his client's innocence. That's why all I've been thinking about is saving Lana. After all my efforts, I never thought it would turn out like this.
Emma. So, there's the final message Prosecutor Marshall left behind.
Now you've gone and done it. Don't worry, love. The cavalry's here.
Of all people, she may not have meant it, but in the end, the one who took the victim's life
Was Emma Sky, Your Honor.
Oh, that's silence. Oof, oof.
Seaworthy, can't I say I didn't warn you? Chief Gaunt, do you understand the implications of what you have done? What? What are you talking about? 2 years ago, Joe Dark was sentenced to death. He was convicted because of his final murder. I believe you were the prosecutor in that case, were you not? Ugh. Yes, Worthy. Because of you, an innocent man was sentenced to death. Oh my, not only that, but you used forged evidence to ensure his conviction.
But Joe Dark really was a serial murderer. That's undeniable.
I am afraid that's not important, really. Didn't you know? We aren't defenders of justice.
What?
We are merely keepers of the law. Sentencing a man to death is no light matter, boy. Even if there wasn't any cover-up for evidence or forgery. Ultimately, the responsibility falls on the prosecutor in charge, clearly. Let's just pass on this hot potato over to Edgeworth. Despite what anyone may say, this fact cannot be denied.
What's going on at the prosecutor's office? They might have sent an innocent man to his death. How can he just stand there? Like it wasn't his fault.
Order, order! I said order!
The gavel's pounding fell on deaf ears. Unable to settle the crowd, the judge declared a recess. Where this trial is headed, no one knows. To be next stage.
So this episode has gone on a little bit long. The episode's not gonna stop. I'm just gonna cut the recording so, you know, I don't lose an hour and 10 minutes of recording, okay? I will see you in a little bit. And so I'm back. Yeah. I was about to do the whole spiel where I'm like, welcome back to Max Plays Phoenix Wright, but you're already in the middle of an episode. The final episode of Max Plays Phoenix Wright. We're gonna go in all the way. I've been recording all day. This has been a fun journey. This has been a foreign journey. And I can't wait to see what ridiculous depths of madness we're about to walk into. Okay, let's follow along.
Yeah, sorry, Edgeworth. I didn't mean to get you in trouble.
Huh. Don't worry about it. This is my problem, not yours. I hope I'm not interrupting your... Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, yes I am. I'll come back later.
He's done that before in this segment, by the way. Oh, Detective Gumshoe! What was it?
You've got a lot of nerve, pal, making the detective run all around while on duty.
This is literally a repeat of yesterday.
And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals.
I take it Lana's having you run errands again.
Let me tell you, this is the last time, pal. Here. She asked me to give you this. She asked me to give this to you if there was a break in today's trial.
Evidence law? Ashworth was talking about this the other day.
I'm sure you know the 2 rules of evidence law, don't you, Wright? Rule number 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department.
Is that right, Mr. Wright?
It seems so.
You could at least study some evidence law, really. Well, a little late to be giving me that.
The chief prosecutor also wanted me to give you a message, pal.
A message?
She said, if you're planning to take him on, you're gonna need this book.
Opens it up, there's a gun inside.
Him? I guess I'll need to give this book a thorough read.
I hate the word thorough. It's a terrible word that just trips me up every time. Also because I'm not a native English speaker, so I'm just like, ugh, how does English work again? From Miss Sky, explains the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Rule number 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case in the trial. Huh.
Doesn't look like that book will do you any good now, though. All that's left now is the chief prosecutor's sentence.
That's where you're wrong, detective.
Huh? Haven't you figured it out yet? Why I'm still sitting in the prosecutor's seat, despite all these allegations being thrown at me. Mr. Edgeworth, the real trial today hasn't begun yet. What? Pal, listen up. What else is there left to do? Your credibility has been all but ruined with this forged evidence you were unaware of. Emma Skies found out she's
Unwittingly? Oh, it's unwillingly.
Emma Sky found out she unwillingly caused a man's death. And now, you're telling me you want to do more? You've got to be kidding me, pal.
You're missing the point, detective. Lana didn't murder Detective Goodman. She merely stuck a knife into his dead body. That means the real killer is still out there. I want to believe, detective.
What?
And we're gonna expose him, no matter what it takes. This case has hurt too many people. It's time to bring it to an end. Let's do this. Get hyped. Get hyped. Let's do this. 12:52. Chord number 9.
The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky. Mr. Edgeworth.
Yes, Your Honor.
The inquiry committee is planning to impose harsh penalties for your actions.
Oh, I like the sprite.
Thank you for the news, Your Honor.
Yes, normally this is where the prosecution calls forth a witness, but, cough. It isn't easy to say. You see, there is some concern that Mr. Edgeworth may have,
struck a bargain.
Yeah.
You think I may have manipulated the witnesses?
I didn't say that, or at least I didn't say so out loud. It's just, you see, everyone's been talking and,
Very well, Your Honor. I have a solution.
A solution?
That being the case, the prosecution will allow the defense to call forth all further witnesses.
Right, but there's never been an example of it.
Undeniably, this is an unusual arrangement, but a very effective one. I would prove that I haven't struck any deals with the witnesses.
Yeah, well, Mr. Wright, what do you say?
Unbelievable! That power! Ashworth has found a way to continue the trial. Those ruffles are mighty powerful. Very well. The defense accepts the prosecution's proposal.
Well, then it's settled. The defense may now call forth the next witness.
Mr. Wright. You do realize this is your last chance. If you call the wrong witness, this trial is as good as over.
The defense calls. The time's finally come to bring out the real murderer.
Get up on the stage, Gaunt. Let's do this.
Damon Gaunt. The defense calls Damon Gaunt to the stands.
Damon Gaunt? What does this have to do with anything?
As the defendant's partner 2 years ago, Mr. Gaunt has first-hand knowledge of the crime.
This face, this is the...
Oh, let me tell you why. I feel we should hear what he has to say about it.
As luck would have it, he should still be in the courthouse.
The camera pans and he's like trying to make it to the door.
He would also be the least likely to have been manipulated by me in any way. Wouldn't you agree, Your Honor?
True. All right, bailiff, please escort Mr. Gaunt to the stand.
Witness, please state your name and occupation. What is this? Some kind of practical joke? I was just on my way to lunch. Your name and occupation, sir. Oh, worthy, are you sure you want to do this like this? Your name and occupation. Oh, fine. So, you want to play hardball, is that it?
Please, Mr. Gaunt.
Fine. My name is Damon Gaunt. I'm the acting chief of police.
Now then, Chief Gaunt, the court requests to hear your testimony.
Oh, righto, what's with the grim face? Is this how you greet your friends?
First, let's clear up this SL9 incident.
Oh, you mean that time when Lana's sister murdered that prosecutor? Personally, I think it's been made pretty clear already. What else could I possibly have to say?
There are still some things unaccounted for.
Oh, like what?
Like the role you played in all of this.
Oh, son, either you are very brave or very, very stupid.
Yeah.
You are aware, of course, that a police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal, right? And I'm not talking about metaphorical weapons here. I have rocket launchers at the office.
Weapons?
Sure. Take my testimony, for example. I don't have to give it if I don't want to.
What? Is that true?
I'm afraid so. The chief of police has the right to refuse to testify.
Of course. Such an action carries with it certain risks. Oh, don't worry, Worthy. I am not here to hinder your trial. Just remember, if this turns out to be a big waste of time, don't say I didn't warn you.
Very well, the witness may now begin his testimony.
SL9 incident.
As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. To make a long story short, we slipped up. That power outage didn't help either.
Thank you for finally explaining why everything went dark.
When I went to my office, I found Lena there. Apparently she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can tell, I had nothing to do with the forgery. That was entirely, completely out of my hands.
I don't buy it.
Is that when Dark was arrested?
Him? Oh, he was lying on the floor unconscious. When Emma sent Neil flying, it seems Dark bumped his head. Oh, the poor little fool.
I see, everything seems pretty clear cut.
If the police chief has the right to refuse to testify, then I better hit him hard and fast.
As I recall, Neil and I were questioning him that day. Him being Dark. To make a long story short, we slipped up, the power outage didn't help either. When we went up to the office, I found Lana there. Apparently, she had already arranged the crime scene. As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery.
Lana did admit to forging evidence, but that can't be the whole truth. Somehow I got the link onto the incident.
Let's go to the last statement.
How can you know that?
Oh, because of the victim's body, it had already been moved. So that means you found the body near Lana's desk. Oh yes, that's right. I think you said so earlier. It was my suit of armor that really stabbed the... Was it really my suit of armor that stabbed the prosecutor?
Yes.
Anyway...
As you can see, I had nothing to do with the forgery. I don't buy that.
So you were saying that the forgery had already taken place by the time you arrived at your office?
That's exactly what I am saying, Righto. Good boy, good boy. I can understand how Lana must have felt, of course, but moving a body and hiding evidence is inexcusable no matter what the circumstances. No matter what the circumstances.
Is that how it really went down?
Staring at the witness won't do any good, Mr. Wright. If you're going to stare at anything, you'll be better off staring at the court record. Oh, worthy, always the smooth talker, what a charmer.
But which piece of evidence ties Gaunt to the forgery? Oh, you mean the stuff he had hidden in his freaking safe?
Lana did admit to forging evidence, but that can't be the whole truth.
And even if she did forge, he was okay with it though.
Somehow I've got the link onto the incident.
Alright, so let's go back to that last statement. Oh really? You had nothing to do with the forgery? Nothing at all, huh?
Yeah. You claim you had nothing to do with the forgery. But I'm afraid that is a claim you cannot back up.
Oh, explain it yourself, please.
Several pieces of evidence were found in your office. Take this jar, for example.
Oh, that's that blue badger you showed us earlier.
A piece of this jar was discovered in your safe.
Oh.
Not only that, but the evidence list I presented earlier was actually found inside your desk.
It was found where?
You see, Chief Gaunt, these articles of evidence uncovered in your office are both concrete proof that you also played a part in the illegal investigation.
Yeah.
Chief Gaunt, what's the meaning of this?
Oh, here's a defense attorney who may even rival Worthy.
So you admit to it then, that you were involved in the forgery.
Who, me? Or do you mean you?
Me? Why would I have anything to do with that?
Well, you were the one who snuck into my office when you found this evidence, after all. Prosecutors aren't the only ones capable of forging evidence, you know. Defense attorneys can do so as well. Isn't that right, Righto? However, Detective Gumshoe was present during the investigation. Worthy, my boy. Not even detectives are exempt from the law. Rest assured, Dick will receive his due punishment.
What? If Detective Gumshoe's salary drops any further, he will end up paying to work.
Yes, well, we all know how badly Gumshoe is hurting for money, but regardless of that, in the light of the detective's presence, please give us your testimony regarding these pieces of evidence found in your office and their relation to the forgery that took place at the crime scene.
Oh my. Kids these days no longer know how to put two and two together. Allow me to show you. Evidence and forgery. Let's see. What was it now? A jar fragment and a list. For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they're worthless. There's no reason I would participate in a forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way.
Mr. Wright,
Yes, Your Honor.
when investigating the crime scene, you should have been more careful to observe protocol.
Oh, you do understand that I am chief of police, right? There will be consequences.
Oh.
Indeed, I believe I will press charges, so you won't make the same mistake again.
My apologies, Chief, but would you mind waiting until tomorrow for that? Today as well, you know.
Alright, Uji, in return though.
I know, that place, right?
Huh? What are these guys telepathic?
We're gonna go swimming or what? Cross-examination! Alright. Whew. For all I know, you could have planted them in my office. Anyway, you can't prove when those pieces of evidence were discovered. Let's loop around. If they were found after Dark was convicted, then they are worthless. There is no reason I would participate in forgery. Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way. That's a lot of defensive statements.
Gant isn't the one who murdered Prosecutor Marshall 2 years ago. Yet I know he played a part in the forgery. That can only mean someone asked him to be an accomplice.
Damon Gaunt. Someone's accomplice. That sounds unlikely.
Stop reading my mind! For all I know... let's start with this one.
What do you mean by that?
This is all purely hypothetical, of course. But suppose I did place those items in my safe. Such an act wouldn't necessarily constitute forgery.
If concealing evidence found at a crime scene isn't forgery.
I am not through speaking just yet, Mr. Wright. It all depends on when the evidence was discovered.
If they were found after Dark was convicted, they are worthless.
Are you saying this jar fragment wasn't discovered in the initial investigation?
It would appear not. After all, it wasn't listed in the evidence list.
You're a liar. You're a liar.
For all we know, it could have suddenly materialized the day after Dark was sentenced.
Oh, and wouldn't that be convenient?
Right.
Huh?
The chief is talking about a possibility, so long as you can't rule that out. Your remarks, however clever they may be, will only succeed in wasting time.
Tell me something I don't already know.
Oh, come on, righto. Think about it.
Alright. There's no reason I'll participate in forgery.
How can you look me in the eye and say that?
Because I am innocent after all. Remember, who was it that murdered Neil again?
I'm not sure I care for the word murder here, but in the end the person responsible for Mr. Marshall's unfortunate demise was Emma Sky.
Yeah.
Well, now do you see?
Rearranging the crime scene wouldn't help me out in any way.
Really, Chief Gaunt? At the very least, there is one very large benefit you have reaped from all this.
Home? I wasn't aware. What is this benefit?
That would, of course, be the position you have. Chief of Police.
Oh.
The resolution of the SL9 incident secured your promotion to Chief. That in itself is sufficient motive.
Oh, that's a good one right there.
Huh?
Do you really think I'm that incompetent?
I mean, yeah, but what do you mean?
Even without that case, I was already in line to become the next chief. The resolution of SL9 merely sped up the inevitable a little bit.
Is that true, Edgeworth?
Yes, he was going to be made chief anyway.
Ah!
Be careful when pointing that finger, or you might wind up being the one pointed at. So that means there's only one possible motivation for you to commit forgery. If you didn't do it for yourself, then you did it for someone else. Oh, don't be silly, Worthy. You know me better than that. There are only 3 people I look out for. Me, myself, and I. There, it's out in the open now. Yuji, would you mind if I change my testimony a little bit?
By all means, please do.
Oh, I'm gonna mega press you on this. I wouldn't be anyone's accomplice if there was nothing in it for me.
Nothing in it for you?
Oh, sorry, but the only person I care about is yours truly. That girl, Lena's little sister, was it? If you think I felt sorry for her, you would better think again. You're right. You don't feel sorry for anyone. I doubt you even have the ability to feel like that. Oh, be tough on crime and tough on people, that's how I was raised. You seem to be lax enough on yourself, though. Oh, you kill me, Worthy, you kill me. That's a good one.
Could there have been something in it for him? Given his selfishness, would he have helped someone else out?
Okay, he told us he's selfish, so by extension we know that no, because he told us he was selfish, but of course we know that he worked with someone else. He worked with Lena. I assumed this much.
True, you might not help out anyone for their sake, but if it would benefit you, you might as well decide to assist someone.
Mr. Wright, it appears you're positively determined to portray the chief as a nice man who likes to lend people a hand.
That's not what I meant, Your Honor.
Very well, I would ask. Who is this person you believe Chief Gad may have helped forge
Evidence, well clearly it's not Meek. He's Lena Sky.
Chief Prosecutor Lena Sky, the defendant?
I believe it's quite obvious in the light of the circumstances. Emma Sky fell victim to an unfortunate series of events by Lemony Snicket. Who would want to help her more than her own sister, Lena? And as for Chief Gaunt, he would also have a reason to help Lena if she asked him to. That reason, of course, is self-profit.
Self-profit? What do you mean? You're not implying that Gant is some sort of selfish man.
Rewind 2 seconds ago.
Oh, I am the most selfish man in the world. If I could, I would toss a baby in the garbage.
Oh man. Oh, that joke finally got to come back.
After the SL9 incident was resolved.
Why are you putting that baby in the garbage, Gant?
Oh, it's because I'm so selfish. I am a comic book villain.
Someone stop that man!
Lena Sky was appointed chief prosecutor at the prosecutor's office. The person will someone stop that man. Someone stop him. He's running, he's going for the garbage can. Stop him now.
I'm sorry. Something about that stupid scenario just kills me.
The person who arranged this job change was you, Chief Gaunt.
But how would he profit from all
all
this?
this, the control. He would have control over the prosecutor's office.
How would he profit from all this?
He would be able to use the chief prosecutor as his puppet. Essentially, he would acquire unchecked authority over all investigations.
Do you mean to tell me that despite the chief's formidable appearance, he plays with puppets?
Oh yeah. Hear the crickets.
Oh wait, you must mean puppet as in someone forced to do his bidding. That was a metaphor, never mind.
Admit it, Chief. You assisted Lana Sky in forging evidence. Your motive, to appoint her as chief prosecutor so you could control her.
Righto, my boy. You have quite an imagination. Let me ask you one thing.
What?
Do you have any proof of this, that I controlled Lana? For example, is Lana testifying that I've done such a thing?
Lana. She's keeping quiet to protect Emma. There's no way she'll testify against Gant.
I'm afraid without any proof, this all amounts to nothing more than mere conjecture.
Unless that is also what happened in this incident.
This incident? Which one would that be?
Of course I'm talking about the murder of Detective Bruce Goodman. The chief prosecutor has been acting strange throughout this entire trial. Almost as if someone has been controlling her. Worthy, you'd better watch your tongue. I wouldn't want you to get hurt.
Just what do you mean?
What he means, Your Honor, is that Chief Gaunt is involved in the murder of Detective Goodman. Not only that, but the Chief is now making Lana take the rap to cover up his involvement.
What? Say what? I can't believe that. What is this, some sort of Japanese anime? Order, I said order. Mr. Wright, you can't be serious.
Huh?
This is an affront to the highest ranking officer in our law enforcement agency. To accuse the chief of police of blackmail and murder. That's impossible.
Your Honor, I was merely reiterating what Mr. Edgeworth said, so to make it easier to understand, and an easier to understand language, sir.
Oh, right. Always blaming me. It's too late, Mr. Wright.
Huh?
There's no turning back for us now.
Aww, we're both stuck in hell together.
It looks like he's the one who's decided to go through with this.
Can you prove this, Mr. Wright? That the chief, a high-ranking officer of the law, was involved in this murder?
Good question.
Regardless of his rank or title, Chief Gaunt is just a man. A beautiful, smart, charming man. The question is he a criminal? I believe the evidence will tell.
I see. Alright then. Show us this evidence that ties Chief Gant to the murder of Detective Goodman.
Oh, well that's an easy one.
Just remember, it better be good.
Oh, it's the record. His card was entered at 420. Boom. Which is also the same code that we entered on his safe.
This is the ID card list.
Yes, the one that shows who entered the evidence room on the day of the crime. There was one ID on the list we couldn't determine the owner of yesterday.
It's 6 sevens.
6 times 7, 49.
Oh, sorry, but there's no way you can prove that's my card number.
It's your number.
Huh?
What? How do you know that?
The safe in Chief Gaunt's office requires a code to open. A 7-digit code.
Wait, 6 or 7? 6 times 7. Wait. No, it's 7 times 7! Oh, someone is calling me out in the comments right now. It's 7 times 7, 54.
7 digits? You don't mean...
I'm afraid so, Your Honor.
Oh my god, it's 7 times 7, 54. I don't even know. I have lost all confidence in my math skills.
I'm afraid so, Your Honor. The code was 6 times 7. No, 7 times 7. Damn it! This is the same as the remaining ID card number on that list. Chief Gaunt, you entered the evidence room on the day of the crime.
Oh, he looks like a Mega Man villain.
Oh, we've got to find the energy resources immediately, Mega Man. If we find the energy resources, we'll find Dr. Wywee.
Order. Enough with the references that only you will get, Max. Chief Gant, what do you have to say for yourself?
Oh, nothing. The defense's search of my office was in violation of regulations. And I will demand Mr. Wright be punished to the maximum extent of the law. But right now, this court demands an explanation from you about the use of this ID card.
Chief Gant, so you admit it? You entered the evidence room on the day of the crime?
What about it? I'm the chief of police, whether it's the evidence room or the bathroom, what's the difference? I can go anywhere I want. Tell me, when you entered the room, were you alone? I always go to the bathroom alone, the questions you ask, as I do when I go to the evidence room alone.
Detective Goodman wouldn't have happened to be with you that day, would he?
Of course not. Why would he be? I hadn't seen him in days.
You hadn't seen him in days. Chief Gant, I'm afraid you have just undone yourself. On that day, you had to have met with Detective Goodman.
What do you mean? This trial's purpose is to determine Lena Sky's guilt.
No, it isn't, Your Honor. This trial's purpose is to determine the truth. If Chief Gant met the victim on the day of the crime, then we need to determine one thing. What transpired during that meeting?
In that case, Mr. Wright, I am going to have to ask you to show us some evidence. Show us proof that the victim went to meet Chief Gant on the day of the crime.
Okay. Proof. I'm a little blanking out. I'll look at this piece of evidence that is no longer useful for us. Ah, it's even changed in the main menu. That's cute. Okay. Proof that Gaunt had to go see Goodman on the day of the crime. On the day of the crime, they met. Why? Let's walk through these one by one. Not you. These are all the new stuff that is not relevant to this, because it happened. These are all from afterwards. Goodman's ID. Not the parking stuff, not the blue badger, not Goodman's autopsy, clearly, not the victim's note, not Lena's cell phone, Lana's cell phone. I mean, I could just try something. Wait! To be submitted to the chief! What? I am the greatest detective of all time! I am the greatest! Take this!
Detective Goodman lost his ID card on the day of the crime.
Or to be more accurate, Jake Marshall stole it.
So Detective Goodman filed out a lost item report. He could have had to give that report to the chief of police himself, Gaunt.
Yet you are in possession of the report right now. What does that say about what you're saying? Which means you can't be sure if he even tried to file it.
He filed it. How do I know, you ask? Because he needed to enter the evidence room that day.
He needed to?
Yes, to transfer the evidence out.
Oh.
Detective Goodman took the form to you, Chief Gaunt. Then, you accompanied the detective to the evidence room.
Because he needed somebody. Huh.
I accompanied him?
There is no other way the murderer and Detective Goodman could have entered that room.
Oh, hold on. Let me guess what you're going to say next. That I, the chief of police, murdered poor Goodman?
Exactly.
But wait. The chief didn't necessarily need to accompany him to the evidence room. He could have just lent him his ID card.
Oh, yes. Now that you mention it, I believe I might have done something of the sort. Oh, yes. Sorry, but that's not possible. According to the record, your card was only used once. But you showed us your ID card earlier. If you had really lent it to Detective Goodman, it would have been found on his body.
Ooh, that's good. Oh, yo! He changed into his final Mega Evolution.
Chief Gant, you didn't.
The murder was most likely committed on the spur of the moment. No one in their right mind would choose the police department as a place to commit murder. After the murder, you contacted Lana at the prosecutor's office. Why else? To dispose of Detective Goodman's body.
However, the victim's body was discovered in the prosecutor's office parking lot. How did he manage to move it there? I was at the police department that entire day, you know? And everyone's aware that Lena stayed at the prosecutor's office after the ceremony.
Everyone except me, it seems. Still, you are the chief of police. You have an entire police force at your disposal.
Oh, so you think I just ordered an officer to do it? Hey you, take this here dead body over to the prosecutor's office. Oh, I don't think so.
Chief Gaunt, you left all the evidence we need to prove how you moved the body to the prosecutor's office. And all this time, I thought it was just a useless clue just taking up space.
How could the chief have moved the body? Mr. Wright, show us this evidence.
To move the victim's body, Chief Gaunt.
I'm thinking of that game for the PS Vita now. Something Gigant. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna get lucky again. Okay, right off the bat, we have nothing here that could actually move a body. So I must assume that this is just one of those things where it's like something that was part of it. Now, he said that it was a meaningless clue that had nothing to do with anything here. And when he says that, I think of one thing. The only thing in this entire pile of evidence that has nothing to do with anything. Evidence from a past case of Edgeworth's, brought back to his office by Gant's request.
This is how he moved Detective Goodman's body.
What's that? The screwdriver? But what does that have to do with this case?
Mr. Edgeworth, think back to the day of the crime. What is this screwdriver doing here?
It's here because... Oh. Huh. I was asked to go by Chief Gaunt, no less. No less. He told me he wanted me to keep it at the prosecutor's office. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back to the prosecutor's office.
In your car.
After the ceremony ended that day, I didn't plan to return to the prosecutor's office.
But you did. Because Chief Gaunt asked you to.
You mean I?
The body was found in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. I think it's obvious what happened. The body was moved by that car.
Whoa!
The Detective Goodman's body was carried in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car.
Yes, unless of course you have another explanation, Chief. Why else would you have asked Mr. Edgeworth to carry evidence from a closed case?
Huh?
There's only one plausible explanation. To transport the body to your accomplice, Miss Lena Sky.
Order, what's going on here? Is there no room for rebuttal to the defense's outrageous accusations?
Think back to the photograph Miss Starr took of the prosecutor's office. This was not a photo of the body being stuffed in the trunk to be taken away. It was exactly the opposite.
It is a photo of the body being taken from the trunk.
Chief Gant, please, say something.
I believe your time, tick tock, is up.
My time is up.
Oh, sorry, Righto, but I'm having lunch with the District Attorney General after this. We have to get going if we are to make it in time for the early bird special.
Yeah, mega objection. But the cross-examination isn't finished yet.
Remember what I told you, remember what I told you earlier? A police chief has all kinds of weapons at his disposal.
Weapons?
Like the right to refuse to testify. I am invoking that right now.
What? But that is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered.
So you're going to just run away after all of this? Run away? Oh, don't make me laugh, Worthy. What are you, chicken? Nobody. Oh, Worthy, nobody calls me chicken. I stabbed old Goodman, that's what you're saying, right? But if you had any conclusive evidence, you would have presented it by now.
Well,
You think I had Lana dispose of the body? If so, then show your proof and get it over with.
I'll say it again, Mr. Wright. Damon Gaunt is the current chief of police. This court will not tolerate any accusations against him without concrete proof. Well, Mr. Wright,
Your Honor.
do you have any concrete proof? Proof that Chief Gaunt murdered Detective Goodman and made Miss Sky dispose of his body.
Do I have any concrete proof?
Breathing, thinking, analyzing. Do I have concrete evidence? I don't think so. My gut feeling is to say I have no proof yet. But I feel this desire to say present evidence out of the principle that that's what I've had to do every time in this game. I don't remember one time in the entirety of the game in which I had to say no. As I've said a million times, you only get lucky if you say yes. But I don't believe I have any proof. I don't think so. Nothing here connects him directly other than the actual evidence. We're talking about the murder here. How do I prove that he murdered, that Gaunt murdered Goodman? I'm gonna take a leap of faith. I'm gonna take the biggest leap of faith ever. Because I feel I'm getting one of those like Dark Souls mimic situations where I'm like, am I being tricked? Because if there was evidence, we would have called on it. So maybe... I'm just gonna do it. Just do it. I threw my tissue across the room. Just do it.
It's no use showing evidence. I'm not even sure of myself. No,
Also, he didn't give us any leads on like, maybe I should present
this thing. No, Your Honor. At present, I have no conclusive evidence. Yet.
See, Yuji?
In that case, this court is forced to penalize you for your allegations against the chief.
Wait, what?
Oh man, did I get the wrong...
I don't gamble unless the stakes are high. It seems that Lady Luck was on my side again today. Okay, Yuji, I'll leave the rest to you. Au revoir. Let me just fade into nothingness. Ha 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 ha.
Oh man. I didn't make a save state, you guys.
I warned you earlier, Mr. Wright. This is an affront to a senior officer in our nation's law
enforcement agency. Oh, those late game typos.
What?
Lady Luck, huh? Maybe we should have a word with her.
Mr. Ashworth, what do you mean?
There's one lady who knows the real truth behind this trial. I haven't yet had the honor of hearing her testimony.
A lady who knows the truth? Another witness?
In absence of conclusive evidence, the only other method of proof is testimony.
But Chief Gan has invoked his right to refuse to testify.
There is still someone else. One more witness who can answer all the questions raised in this trial. Someone right in this very room.
Mr. Ashworth, who is this magical person you're talking about?
Huh. Why are you asking me, Your Honor? Have you forgotten? The defense is the one calling witnesses today.
Yeah, I know who it is.
Mr. Wright, does such a witness exist?
She may not be willing to tell us the truth, but we can't just stop now. Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls forth...
Angel Star! No. It's Lena, guys. She's the one who has yet to actually testify. Let's end the story with how it began.
The defendant? Miss Lena Sky?
She was in the underground parking lot at 5:15 on February the 21st. Her task? To dispose of the victim's body. In accordance with a certain someone's orders.
Mr. Ashworth, what do you think of this?
The prosecution has no objections, Your Honor.
Very well. The court will now take its final recess for the day. In 15 minutes, we will reconvene to hear the defendant's testimony. This court is now
Hold on.
Chief Gant, I thought you were going to go eat.
Listen good, Lena.
He's talking to Lena.
I don't think you need me to tell you this now, but if you accept Mr. Wright's claim, there will be terrible consequences. That's right. Your sister will be found guilty for Neil Marshall's murder.
This isn't good.
Oh, by the way, someone out there may be yelling at me. The statute of limitations is not done because it's 3 years for it to be closed forever. But after a trial is solved, for the next 2 years, the evidence remains in the police department. That's the thing that I was messed up with, and I understood it later on, but I never externalized it, so there you go.
Of course, you would never support such outrageous claims anyway, right? Just something to think about. Alrighto then. Mwah. I've got a lunch date to meet. Au revoir. Bye-bye.
Oh man.
Okay, if there aren't any further objections, this court is now in recess. Yeah! To be next wait!
Okay, so this episode is gonna be like stupidly long. It's gonna be like 3 hours. I'm gonna end the recording here. I'll be back in 2 seconds, but just to make sure that I don't lose 50 minutes of progress, okay? I will be right back. Wink. And so, we're back to the last segment of this enormous episode, but at least it will be over at last. I think that you would particularly enjoy a ridiculously enormous episode. Let me just make a really quick note about something. And we are ready to go. Let's do this.
February the 25th, 2:04 p.m. District Court, defendant lobby number 2.
Looks like we managed to stay in the game.
Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth.
Hey, that chief, he's something else, huh, pals?
Detective Gumshoe.
Ha ha ha, I'm not a detective anymore.
Oh yeah, sorry about that.
Don't worry about it, pal, I've already decided where to work now. At your office.
My office?
Sure. I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with. I will be your sidekick.
Could he mean Maya?
Still, looks like we're a lot of moves now. Chief Scan's done it. It's done it again. How is it he always gets the upper hand?
It's not fair he has the right to refuse to testify.
I wonder if that's even real. I wonder if that is even real.
Huh. Settle down, Wright. Remember what the judge said.
But Chief, this is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered.
Risks? What did he mean by that?
It's simple. If the chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true.
You mean he forfeits his right to say anything too? Oh, you mean he forfeits his right to say anything too?
Emma, are you okay?
Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery.
So she heard everything that's been going on. She's taking it pretty well. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before.
Oh, no, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny, I almost feel somehow relieved.
Relieved?
Yeah, now I finally know what really happened. To think that all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by a terrible man. And she did it all just to protect me.
Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor, everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean, pal? What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders, she must have shut herself up deep inside, to force herself to do anything and everything the chief told her to do.
That must be why she became so cold.
It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall.
Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. You don't want to blame anybody. Blame society, pal.
If you want to blame anybody, blame society. Chief Gant may be a fool to everyone else with this. Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor.
I see.
Well, we'll better get back. It is time for the final act, pals.
Emma, why don't you wait?
No, I am going with you.
Huh?
I want to be there. When Lana tells the truth.
Let's go, right? It's time to end this. Let's do this. One
To be next stage.
final time.
Guess what? We actually got to hear this one more time. This is the last, though. This has got to be the last. There's no way. The last testimony. At last, we hear the truth.
We've been here for like 4 hours. You've been here for like over 2 hours now.
Now then, will the defendant, Miss Lena Sky, please take the stand?
Miss Lena Sky, you are the chief prosecutor. I am sure you're aware of what is required of you.
But, Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years.
Please provide the court with your testimony, Sky. And remember, you're under oath. We want to hear the truth and nothing but the truth.
Of course, the truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I will always be your sister.
Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Gaunt.
Oh my god, I had a really dirty joke in my head.
Everything hinges on your testimony, Lana. This is the turning point. You're the only chance we have to get Gaunt.
Gaunt and the Fabrication. That sounds like the title of an indie rock band. Oh no, indie alternative rock band, there you go. I worked alongside Gaunt for years. There is no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Doc convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Oh, you're looking away.
Are you sure about this testimony?
Your Honor, I am confessing to a capital offense. Of course, I'm sure. But, Lana...
If this is true, then that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this.
That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me.
But what if she's telling the truth?
She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony.
Huh. Yeah. This is no time to start second-guessing myself.
The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Cross-examination. Gaunt and the Fabrication. Alright, let's go this by one by one. I worked alongside Gaunt for years, that's true. There's no doubt to this blackmail. There's no truth to this blackmail theory.
But think about it, Miss Sky. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail.
You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip.
Yeah.
I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And that is the truth. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. I don't buy that. I don't buy it at all.
Did you do so to help your sister?
Joe Dog was a serial killer. My sister... You're looking away. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life.
But what she did was justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything.
That's not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him. Elena?
So, that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago.
Let's keep pushing, okay? Or pressing.
You say you did this all by your lonesome.
Yes. Affirmative.
Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene?
Oh, Lena. You don't actually know, do you? It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. Oh no, okay, she does. The broken prosecutor award knife was stuck on the victim's body.
What? But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident.
That's only situation you dreamed as possible.
Eh?
The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I will never change this statement.
You mean... Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark.
Something like that.
If that is so, what happened to the murder weapon? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife.
Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably blocked away in the struggle, knocked away in the struggle.
That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies.
All just to protect me.
So when you found a scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to.
Yes. Okay. Okay. I broke off the tip of Dark's knife, planted it inside the wound, and then moved the body. This seems legit. Let's push this one before we move on to the other one, okay?
So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer?
How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it. Period.
Are you so desperate to hide that fact? You're willing to risk the death sentence?
She's lying. She did it so it wouldn't be blamed for what happened. In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions. Mr. Wright, my sister is lying.
Looks like she's determined to protect you to the end. She insists she fabricated the evidence by herself.
There's no way she could have done it alone.
I've gotta get Lena to talk more. If she's lying, then she's bound to slip up and make a contradiction.
A contradiction? Like a knife and a spear? Let's press more on this.
You planted the tip of Dark's knife into the wound,
And then you moved the body.
But why? Why would you do that?
You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders.
My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for the sake of others.
Okay. Planting the knife makes sense. Why did you move the body, though? That seems like a more, problematic statement, right? Because, like, okay, you planted the knife in there to show that, oh, yeah, the knife, yeah, that explains why the knife was broken. Why did you move it, though? Because that seems like the most pointless thing.
When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body?
It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gaunt's desk.
But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there?
The reason for that is quite simple.
Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Miss Sky moved the body.
The pieces of the jaw that shattered during the events threatened my plan. Oh, did they really? How did the jar break if the thing that we assume happened didn't happen, Elena?
Pieces of the jar, you mean?
Yes, that wretched jar Mr. Wright showed us earlier. In order to show that Dark committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body. Expedient.
So, when you first found the body, the jar was already...
Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you looked at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. Neil Marshall was dead, and Dark was laying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle.
I see.
What's the matter, Emma?
Apparently the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed. But if it had, then why is there blood on it? But I have a feeling there's more to it than that.
There must be a contradiction here somewhere.
Yeah, it's a fabrication alone. Yeah, sure, whatevs. The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan. Can I just present the jar? I'm just gonna present the jar.
Yeah!
Yeah!
Miss Sky, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister.
You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered?
If that truth were to be exposed now, The past 2 years of your life will have been useless. Even so, I am compelled to bring everyone's attention to a significant contradiction within your testimony.
A contradiction in my testimony?
You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan."
Oh, that's right.
Do you have a problem with that, Mr. Wright?
It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood.
Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments.
Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies.
Huh.
In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not yet have been broken before he died. Snack. He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar.
The heads on the top are like, yeah, man, that sounds true. That makes sense.
Order!
Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regards to the jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here.
Something critical?
Chief Prosecutor, it seems you are as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we are headed. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth.
Very well. The witness may now continue her testimony.
Jar and message in blood. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered.
You mean you were the one who wiped away this message in blood?
I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence?
Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
Oh my god. Okay. Jar, message in blood. Cross-examination. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar. But it was dark in the room, and I didn't have time to check it out. Okay, I'm gonna go with the one where she's looking away. Because this shows doubt.
So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar?
No. And if I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust.
Well, that helps my case.
Lena, you did that for me?
It seems you two might make up yet.
Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was.
If someone happened upon the scene, you would lose your chance to erase the evidence. You must have been in a hurry.
I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came.
This is rather shocking.
To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I made sure to gut them all. Is there one more after this? All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. Is that so?
So you illegally rearranged the crime scene?
Yes. I don't have any excuse for my actions. I am so sorry, Elena. I didn't know. I've treated you so badly all this time.
It's not too late. There's still plenty of time to make up. After we have gotten to the bottom of this incident.
No doubt this day will leave a permanent stain on the history of the prosecutor's office.
More contradictions have surfaced in her testimony.
Your sister's really putting up a fight. She must really care about you. Still, she is not doing this the right way. I think I finally figured out the contradictions in her testimony. There's one final possibility that might turn everything around.
I have no idea what this means. I'm gonna push everything now.
So the jar was already broken.
It's a miracle that thing hadn't broken earlier.
It certainly looks as feeble as the defense's case.
But not as feeble as the judge's judgment.
You were an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces?
Normally I would have. But it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out.
So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar?
No. If I had known, okay. So you didn't know, but you made sure to do it. And you were sure to clean the blood. Yeah, that seems like a problem.
I am afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened.
What do you mean?
If you really thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood.
What else could I have done in that situation? Lena, I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather off the pieces. The fragments were large, so make sure to get them all.
But how could you see with the power out? It should have been pitch black in that office.
A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now, I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me. Even I carry my bottle of emergency luminol wherever I go. I never miss anything. I got every last piece. Did we push this one already?
So you
okay, yeah. This should loop us back around. Time to push on those contradictions. Alright. Alright. What am I supposed to do? Let's go through our evidence together, okay? Final fragment found in safes. Emma's written on the surface in blood. What else do we have from that moment and that time period? We have SL9, we have this photo. Nothing there. Emma says sprints. Did I ever check this? From Miss Sky explains the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case at hand. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. Did I press this? Ugh.
I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what happened, really.
What do you mean?
Okay, I'm actually a little bit of a loss right now. Okay. Before we finish this segment, what do I have on me right now? Let's just knock everything out. Not you. Not you. Not you. Not you. Not the autopsy. The autopsy, maybe? That's Goodman, though. Parking lot floor plans. Crime photo. Is there something? Maybe it's the phone? Like, Let's review. Because maybe the phone because she called her sister. I don't know. Okay, let's take it from the beginning. Okay, there's a stretch here. There's a stretch. Because let's go back. To be safe, I wiped it with the blood. There's no fact there in particular. It was dark. Couldn't have to check it out. She already proved that she had a flashlight on her and a camera. This is true. The only statement that I have issues with is this one. And I have the smallest thing. I have 5 strikes. I can go ahead. You got all of the pieces, right? But if you did, then why was the largest piece inside of Damon's safe? Oh shit! Oh, I thought this wasn't gonna work. I was just gonna start working through all the options.
Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of.
What is that?
We found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's safe.
In the chief's safe? But how?
I knew it! She really didn't know! There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it.
But the witness just testified that she gathered every...
Gaunt did it. Gaunt did everything. She didn't know.
She gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off of them.
Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. The night the prosecutor marshal was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Gaunt got there before you.
Yo.
But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece?
I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective.
That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes, Mr. Wright. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Ha! Can you believe it?
Enough with your stories. Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When the witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken.
Oh, that.
There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness.
I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gaunt at the time. He was looking for Dark downstairs. Besides, even if we had blah 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 blah.
The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide that fact for 2 years? Well, Your Honor, can you answer that question?
Nope, I can't actually, as a matter of fact. Wait, I'm not the one on trial here.
Damon Gaunt arrived at the scene of the crime prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposefully hid one of the broken pieces. Question: what is this action called?
Fabrication!
But why would Chief Gant do that?
In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear?
What happened afterwards?
Discovering the scene, Lena Skye believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gaunt's aid. Lending her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma, and here is the reason. The reason why Miss Skye became the chief's puppet.
She actually bit. No, I did it all on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients.
Foul lies? Imagine that, coming from my own client.
Alright. I guess you do seem like the type who likes to twist the truth.
Hey! Wait a minute. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap?
There's something wrong, Mr. Wright.
Lena, maybe right after all.
What do you mean, Wright?
So you do tell foul lies every now and again, Mr. Wright?
Miss Skye, please testify one more time.
But
if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie.
But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall.
Miss Skye, if you will.
I can't.
There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. We have gone in too deep now. We are all getting fired after this. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will, if you tell the truth.
Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw.
Alright, the witness may testify once more for the final time.
Okay, this is it. Right here. Right now. The actual crime scene. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armored sword. Emma and Doc were lying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what had happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gaunt help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. Oh, this protects Gaunt in every way, shape, and form. Because he's literally like, oh yeah, by the way, if you don't play along with me, I'll tell everyone that your sister did it. Or I will, implicate your sister. Because I have proof or whatever. But he's defending himself this whole time. The question never came up. Did Gaunt actually murder Marshall? But if it all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent. Whoops, sorry about that.
Unbelievable. The body was impaled on the armored sword.
You were the only one who saw that. If you had proof.
Actually, I do have proof.
Huh.
I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning.
What? To me?
It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed.
But I don't remember receiving a picture like that.
Lena must have known. See, Mr. Wright, she really does have faith in you.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture.
I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lena.
Lena said she gave it to you this morning, right?
I seem to remember getting something from her then.
Let's check out that evidence again then. There must be a picture in there somewhere.
Well, the only thing she gave me was this book.
Oh, that's so cute! That is so cute, it's a little burb!
Okay, well. And na 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 na.
Hey, there's a picture here.
Oh my. This is the actual crime scene. No other detective saw the crime scene like this. That's because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I rearranged the scene.
Lena's picture has been added to the court record.
Mr. Wright, that piece cut out from his vest. Could that be? It's the leather.
The cloth was found inside Chief Gaunt's safe. The piece of cloth we found. What's this?
It's a handprint.
Finally, that shows up.
That cloth, it had fingerprints on it. Whose ever fingerprints those are must be the real murderer.
What? But those fingerprints. They are yours, Emma.
Why are your lips turned all purple, Mr. Wright?
Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer.
Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination.
The actual crime scene. One last time. Cross-examination. When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on the suit of armor. Excuse me?
Oh. Ha! Come on now, Yuji. This is the poorest excuse for a trial that I have ever seen.
Chief Gaunt.
Now, Now,
Excuse me, I'm moving in my chair. I've been sitting here for like 3 hours recording. This last episode only.
what? Now you want to make me out as the bad guy too? If so, I would like to put in a word or two in my defense. I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined testimony. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort.
Ha ha. This must be the risk the judge was talking about.
Just sit back and relax. And enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck. Oh, God is in a pickle. Oh, so what? You think I'm worried? I am never worried. Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence.
Can you actually? It must be relevant. It must be relevant to the case, and it must be shown. It cannot be shown without approval of the police department, which he does represent. Which he does represent.
Oh, well, yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence?
Oh, no, I don't. But someone else does.
Someone?
So then, what's your excuse, righto?
Huh.
Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right?
This guy, he left it there so we would find it.
Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death. Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt.
Is this true, Mr. Wright?
Yeah. If I show that piece of evidence now, I'm sure to be made out as the murderer.
Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now. And if you try to conceal anything, you will be appearing before the Board of Inquiries.
What do I do now? I'd better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I present that piece of evidence? The one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall?
Okay. So we are at the end of the game. We're literally at the end of the game. I am thinking right now, and I feel that showing the evidence will give us a game over. I am convinced that there's no way showing the evidence after literally being told, don't show it, would not lead with us like, oh, somehow like, oh yeah, you showed it, so everything turned out okay. I don't think so. I don't buy that for 2 freaking seconds. I feel, again, this trial is testing me because I want to say yes, because saying yes makes you win. But the previous time it worked, I'm gonna go with it again. No. Put me before the board of directors. I don't care. Or the inquiries. This is the end of the game. I don't care. You can't do anything to me.
Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time.
What? You are lying.
Chief Gant?
You opened my safe. I know you took what was inside. The conclusive evidence.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Mr. Wright, why didn't you show them? We found it together.
Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gaunt? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? It looks like part of it's being cut out for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe?
What? This means you, the chief of police, concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department.
Gaunt. What the hell did you just do? Gaunt, what are you thinking? You just did a Mondo move. Mondo being... Actually, I should probably not explain that joke. You just walked yourself into a corner.
Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gal, righto? Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I will tell you what really happened.
You can't testify.
What? You mean you admit to it?
Can he testify?
I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana.
So you really were manipulating her?
I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay on her sister, I knew that then, when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid. So you assisted Lana Sky. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room. And then I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dark convicted. Well, when we arranged the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. I did this before Lena arrived at the scene.
2 pieces of evidence? You mean those items in your safe?
But why?
For insurance, of course.
Insurance?
I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed.
You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? Even I don't buy that shit.
Who do you take me for, a fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck.
Said the guy who said that Lady Luck was on his side.
See this jar fragment? I hit the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lena to go wipe the blood of all the pieces.
That was odd.
But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar too? Ho ho ho. Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept 1 more item for insurance. You mean that piece of cloth? Come on, Righto, cough it up already. I know you have it.
What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright?
So you admit to it then, Chief Gant? That you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe?
Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer.
We're setting him up. We're setting him up super hard.
Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present.
Foolish move, Righto. You should have known it. You should have shown it then before it was too late.
It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up here, victory's mine.
We're setting him up, right? We're setting him up. We're setting him up. Show it. Show it. Show it.
Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now.
Alright then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered the prosecutor marshal.
Who's to say he didn't falsify all that evidence too, though?
Let me clarify this, or verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest, no?
Oh yes, yes, at last you finally brought it out into the open.
There's a handprint on this piece of cloth.
Your Honor, the prosecution requests that we immediately that it be sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather there must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly.
You mean?
It could not have been forged. It must be authentic, inconclusive evidence.
We're setting him up, you guys. We're setting him up.
You are as slow in the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Think about it. Rido had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that?
Mr. Wright, did you really know?
Whoever these fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they?
We're setting him up. We're setting him up. We're walking him into a corner. He has admitted to forging evidence. Who's to say he didn't forge everything?
Very well, I'll tell you. It should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. The person whom these fingerprints belong to are...
It's a setup.
Emma Sky?
What? But they're mine?
I'm sorry, Emma.
But why? Why didn't you tell me?
Well, because I didn't want to hurt your feelings.
Oh ho 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 ho! You really are something, Righto. You knew this girl did it all along, and you still try to pin the murder on me. Can you believe him?
So it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death.
How could you? You monster.
Miss Sky.
You knew whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't.
Miss Sky!
The photo! The photo! The photo! The photo! The photo! Wait, no. I thought about something. What am I thinking about? What am I thinking about? Something about the vest. He made that up. He made that up, didn't he? He could have cut it. He could have cut it here and then put the print on it. It's fine. Once we assume he forged evidence, he could have forged everything.
Miss Sky, it's not over yet.
What?
I said this trial isn't over yet.
Huh, but I'm afraid it is over, my boy. Not only this trial, but your career too.
Huh, I doubt that. Seeing as how I have like 6 more games after this.
You purposely conceal this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense.
Yeah, maybe.
I am looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted.
And I will be right back. Sorry, I had to blow my nose.
I am looking forward to pressing charges after she is convicted. I'll have your badge, my boy.
Not my lawyer badge.
What's the matter? Catgut your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned the poor little girl into a murderer?
Well, before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up.
Oh, and what is that?
Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall?
What?
Chief Grant, you're absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask?
It was Emma Sky, wasn't it?
I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction.
What? A contradiction? What is all this foolish babbling about?
I'm talking about a contradiction. One that proves who the real killer is.
Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth. What could it possibly contradict?
Chief Gaunt, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth.
I have a feeling it's this. I don't know why though. There's no blood on it. There's no blood on it. Wait, no! He cut it before! He cut it before! That's why there's blood all the way through the shirt. Oh. Oh.
And what exactly is this supposed to be?
This is the picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out?
Yes, his shirt is showing underneath.
Oh, his shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though.
Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs no doubt were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth.
Oh, but that piece of cloth.
That's right.
Wait, there's no blood on it.
Since Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there is no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on that sword.
Oh no, this is nonsense.
Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside.
He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out.
If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Sky, picked up the unconscious prosecutor, and impaled them on the armor's sword?
Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name in a jar with the victim's blood. Then, he broke the jar on purpose to leave behind a clue and make Lana believe her sister did it.
Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's vest? Ironic, isn't it? Kinda like we set you up. Through the very act of creating insurance, you prove that you were the actual murderer.
Oh, this so Gant is in a pickle?
It's finished. It's over.
I object. Oh ho ho, I object. That was close, Righto. You almost had me.
Ah,
I'm sorry.
Oh, I think I know where this is going. You're gonna say that we can't present that evidence because a police person didn't present it, but you presented it. You told us to pull it out. I am ready for your bullshit.
I'm sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations, all of them, every single one.
What do you mean you refute his allegations?
You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence. I knew it! I knew you would freaking do this!
Oh, buddy, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But you presented it, and it is relevant. So deal with it.
Order! What nonsense is all this?
High legal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. No. Remember, Yuji?
earlier,
old Rido here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Righto? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you?
Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time.
Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence.
At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence.
But that's not fair.
Ho 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 ho! Did you actually think you could best me in court? Me, Damon Gaunt? It looks like the last laugh's on you, son.
I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claims is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth,
True. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal.
Mr. Wright.
It seems at last the time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived.
Mr. Wright, do you admit to it? Did you purposefully and illegally concede this piece of cloth?
Heck no!
Certainly, I refused to present evidence at one point.
So the evidence is illegal.
No, it isn't, Mr. Gant.
Huh?
It's not that I didn't present evidence then. It's that I couldn't present it then.
Oh,
Because we needed a representative of the police force to approve of it. Oh, Phoenix! Oh, Phoenix, you beautiful man!
What do you mean you couldn't?
There are certain procedures involved when presenting evidence.
oh no, Yuji, don't listen to his lies. Don't listen to him. He is nothing but a coward. You can't let him win. There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not?
Very well. Let us settle this once and for all. Earlier you refused to present evidence. If you can prove...
And I'm back, sorry about that, I got a notification on my screen, I had to take it out, I'm sorry.
If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now.
Here you go! Read a book, loser!
This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law.
What is this? A book for children?
I have done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more.
What?
You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law.
Rule number 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department.
I found this piece of evidence myself, inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department.
Rule number 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case in trial.
And here is the crux of the matter. You see, at the time, it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident.
What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and...
Listen, sorry, but you can recall, when was that picture presented?
That was shown only a few moments ago.
No, oh, he's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless.
The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gaunt.
You yourself confessed to a certain truth.
Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest.
Oh yes. I regret everything. No, oh no. It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth.
The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. And there's only one person who that could be. Damon Gaunt! The killer was you!
No. knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years he's been snooping around the department, trying to get something on me. I knew it, I knew it, I knew it. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me. Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Star and then convinced Bruce Goodman.
Detective Goodman?
Yeah, that's right. Listen up, partner. If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find out the truth. Please, you gotta help me, pal. Brother, partner, friend. Goodman turned him down, so as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then all of a sudden he had to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman? Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? We can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered. And then I choked him to death. Oh man, I lost my temper. He told me to open up the evidence room and take it out. It's not too late. I'll hand this to Marshall. Well, to be honest, I was a little panicked too. I had a bad feeling about it, but never knew it would come to this. That's when I saw it, that accursed knife.
Always wearing gloves, huh?
I couldn't just pull it out. You would only increase the amount of blood and you couldn't finish what you started. Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I was wiping it up. I was worrying so much about the floor, I didn't realize my mistake.
Detective Gumshoes. Bloody handprint.
I used to be known as the crime computer. But everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. Then you put the body in my car. I'm sorry. We couldn't think of any other way to move the body. We broke the trunk, but what's the big deal, huh? You pulled down a lot more than us detectives.
What does this have to do with anything? You're horrible. How could you get Miss Sky involved in all of this?
Well, she had as much to lose as I did if the truth came out.
Give me a second, I need some water.
So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker. I feel bad for having to do it, but I couldn't sit around and pick and choose what to take.
Well, you left the jar fragment and gloves.
Yeah. It looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer.
That makes sense, I guess. A little bit loose, but yeah, that's fine.
They all did their best to get in my way. I've gotta hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay. Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that. Oh, tell me, Worthy. What are you going to do? What are you doing in court? Me? You despise criminals. I can't feel it. You and me, we are the same. Time for me to give that speech where I talk about how we're both the same even though I'm actually the bad guy. One day you will understand. If you want to take them on alone, you will figure out what's needed.
Is this a reference to when Edgeworth does investigative work in a later game?
Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Uji.
What?
Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend.
Oh. I'm sorry too, Damon Gant.
Oh well.
I knew you as you used to be, long ago. You were once a fine investigator, an example to others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you're no longer that person.
Those days are gone now, Uji. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine.
Now,
You have Rhino here. And Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. You see, if I listen carefully, I can hear it right now. The sound of a new beginning.
there are two things I want you to understand.
Yes?
First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Sky, you no longer have any reason to keep silent.
You're right. When this trial is over, I will tell everything. All that I've done these last 2 years. From the time I had God help me forge evidence up until today.
So, it seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered at last.
I'm sorry, Miss Sky. I couldn't get you out of all your trouble.
My. What high standards you have for a rookie.
Yeah?
I can see why Mia thought you so highly of you. Who knows? A few years from now, you might just make it to the top. She smiled! I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright.
Miss Sky?
And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You have all suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for all of you.
It was nothing.
Liar.
I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. As you could say, you rose from the ashes. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth.
Stop it. I only did my job. I can't take compliments. I'm blushing. Please, turn the camera around.
In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for all of us. Miss Sky,
Yes, Your Honor.
you're innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact is you still acted as his accomplice. A trial will be rescheduled for these crimes at a later date.
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
Is there something amusing about all of this? Why are you smiling?
It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I've felt free of these heavy chains.
That's nice, actually. I like it.
Well, this trial has gone on for far too long already.
Tell me about it. This episode is like 3 hours long.
Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Ms. Lena Sky,
Not guilty. Yes! Yes! I'm punching the sky because I'm so happy.
That is all. The court is adjourned. Thank you for watching, kids. Now let's enjoy the ending.
Goodbye, Judge. Yeah, play the happy song. Play the freaking happy song. We've been here for like 7 hours.
At long last, it's finally over. Emma? Why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook, but at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit.
No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended, I can see when Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You have suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days. You have done well. She smiled! You know, I did my best too. But Lena didn't say a single word to me.
Hope I'm not interrupting anything.
You kind of are. For the last time. Third time's the charm.
Oh, guess I am, pal. I'll come back later.
No, wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it?
That's cute, actually. Repetition.
You're doing this on purpose, aren't you, pal? Making the detective run all around while on duty. And to top it all off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. God damn it, this kills me. This is actually good. Like, on the second time I was like, this is cute. On the third time, it's now hilarious. I've seen happier people at funerals. Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding.
Oh, are you here because of my sister again?
Nope, not this time. I came today because of you, pal.
Me?
That's right. I thought you would like to see someone.
Lena.
Should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know.
Well, I won't tell if you don't. Screw the rules. Hey, you! Stop looking this way.
Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. I'm already crying. Don't worry about it. That day, 2 years ago, was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in this mess. Sis? I asked God to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake. But now, I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day. Actually, also, we never learned, or did we learn why exactly was it that, Gaunt murdered freaking, Marshall? I guess he was in the way, I don't know. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I love for the sign, by the way. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself, but I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared that you look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew. But sis, you were only doing it for me. No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day. In hiding what I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you. Sis? I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I am so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologize. It's... I'm happy now. You're happy. Of course. You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have. Oh my god, I just hug already. Ah! Oh, Emma. Emma.
What's wrong, pal? What? Are you crying, pal?
I'm just crying a little right now, okay? No one can change the past, but the only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes, to build a better future. Why? Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in so doing, we can find a way to our path. And once we've found our path...
Oh, by the way, this image is way higher quality because it's for the DS, not the Game Boy Advance.
We can move on from our past mistakes towards a brighter future. At least that's what I felt, looking at those two sisters make up.
Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe.
Me?
Thank you both for all that you have done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday, in another video game. Isn't that right, Edgeworth?
Edgeworth?
Stop hiding and come over here, at last. He was hiding behind the plant or something. Look at this, oh, look at this frowny face.
Where was he hiding?
I just came to say, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth.
Right. Well, I'll be going now.
Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened.
Huh?
We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you.
It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realized today that I can't change my own mistakes.
Mr. Edgeworth?
Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gaunt was right. You despise criminals, I can feel it. You and me, we are two birds of the same feather. One day you will realize, if you want to take them on alone, you'll figure out what's needed. I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime alone, one needs a weapon. It's scary, but I've been thinking the same thing for quite some time now.
But Edgeworth?
Who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gaunt did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as a prosecutor.
Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gaunt and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime. But they both made the same mistake. You said in order to fight crime alone, one needs a weapon. That may be right, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright. Yeah! That ship just gets stronger. And because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that no otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright?
Yeah! What is this, a pop quiz?
Come on, Mr. Wright, show him what Lena's talking about. Now, someone did tell me this, because you get a better ending this way.
Evidence that neither Edgeworth nor I would have found.
Oh my god, this makes the ship so strong. Each of them brought a half of... It's like, it's a metaphor for their love. It kills me.
Just kiss already, god damn it.
That's the picture I drew.
Our counterattack began with this. You had one half of the evidence list, and I had the other. Apart, we wouldn't have been able to completely restore Emma's picture.
That didn't just happen by chance, Edgeworth.
It's time for me to go.
Mr. Edgeworth?
If you will excuse me, there are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor.
Edgeworth, what will you do now?
Well,
whatever you do, just remember, what happened in this trial can either make or break you as a prosecutor. In the end, it's up to you.
I know. It seems I owe you my thanks too, right? But what I face now is my problem.
Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court.
Farewell. I am off to become a detective in one of my own spin-off games.
I'll be better be getting back to the cage, I guess. Okay, I'll come visit you. It seems we both still have a lot to learn. Here, take this little something for you.
Do I already have it?
No. It's the last item! Scientific investigation. It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well. Thanks, sis. I will.
Oh, that smile. My heart. And so, another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Faith that their lives have only just begun, for they will come back in future video games. As for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. A journey to rediscover myself.
Well, don't go taking off just yet, pal.
Huh? What is it, detective?
There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she wasn't supposed to be out of jail like this.
But
I thought you said it was okay.
Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story.
Huh?
Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either.
Huh?
way to go, detective. I didn't know you had a wild side.
Yeah, well, you see, I don't actually have money on me. Mr. Wright here is the one who will be footing the bill.
Huh? What?
What do you think What, you think I could afford that with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal!
Huh? Huh? Oh, man.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best.
Such is the life of the acest attorney, Phoenix Wright. Why is it I suddenly feel like I want to scream?
Since we're all here, why don't we all go together?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go. Excuse me. Oh. I object. I'm objecting. Oh my god. Give me a second. I believe I need to somehow re-enable the objection button. I'll be right back. Oh my god, that is literally the one time in the entire game I had to press a key. And it's this one. No, it's this one. There you go. Yeah. Also, now we have to actually play this game too. Yeah. Phoenix Wright. It's over. Oh my god, that was crazy. I arranged for a friend of mine in Europe to do something. She's a coroner. I think Emma will be pleased. As for me, this affair has been pretty much ended my days as a prosecutor. Still, I'll manage to find my way back to the field somehow. Then, I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma. Ah, cute, 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 cute. Yeah, I want to start talking about my feelings on the game, but we're getting like credits right now with character stuffs. My voice is dead. I've recorded like a lot of it today.
Yikes, I thought I was a goner for a moment there. In the end, though, they overlooked my unauthorized investigation of the chief's office. If we penalized you anymore, you'll be worse. Oh, yep, that's what they said. It just goes to show, you can't shake me off that easily.
Was that a joke about him? He would have to end up paying to work here? This was a really, really, really fun journey. Man, this last trial was freaking crazy. Oh man, can you believe it? This last episode is like 3 hours. What am I gonna do? I'll just post the whole thing. There's no way I can cut it. My new mission is to guard the main entrance and to take care of Billy. Can you believe it? I've been demoted to a security guard. My partner's keeping an eye on the entrance for me today, though. I'll show them, though. Someday I'm going to make a detective. Yes, sir. I can be just like Dick Gumshoe. That's not the best life goal? I don't know if that's who you want to aspire to be. Man. I want to relax, but I also have to do like this double button press, which is a little bit of a problem. Yeah, the Blue Badger. The real hero of this game. Blue Badger, we believed in you. You were the real hero of this game. Oh, he broke! Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah. So, oh my god, I literally have 2 screens to give my thoughts before the next character comes up. And I want to do it probably next time because,
Hey, Bambina, what is it? Can't you see I'm having a showdown with a steak lunch partner? Miss Star managed to sneak this in for me. She's seeing one of the guards, it seems. Well, cowboy, it looks like you did it. You even gave Bambina back her smile. Can you make sure Billy and the gang get there with her?
That's his cactuses. Okay, I have real talk right now. Having the big trial and this one back to back was a little extreme. Oh, looks like we won't be seeing
each other for a while. So unfortunate. But here, as a farewell gift, I put a new meal on the menu, the Right Way lunch. The top layer tastes as bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer's as sweet as victory. Kids seem to dig the turnabout theme. It's a hot seller around exam time. Just make sure not to eat it backwards. Mwah, goodbye.
Those two last trials back to back was a little bit of burnout, I have to be entirely honest. But man, this last trial is like probably the best trial. I mean, okay, it's hard for me to be like it's the best because the trial with Edgeworth is just so character heavy.
Hey, I'll never forget what that young defense lawyer said after the trial. Let's see, what was his name again? Mr. Left. Anyway, he's been doing something or other for how many years? Anyway, I've got another trial to get to, so I better be, huh? Oh no, I forgot my gavel. Sorry, I gotta go. Wow, a rare shot of my chair.
The Edgeworth trial is probably like the best one. It is, because it's got so much character goodness. This trial though is the strong second, especially on gameplay, and it was really good flow. Like, you know, it is like I was playing the game and I was not like,
What am I supposed to do now?
I was just like, okay, well, you're leading me from point to point.
Ah, nothing suits the soul like fresh country air. Still, sometimes I do miss hearing Nick and his objections. Oh, still, I can't go back until I'm a full-fledged spirit medium. Maya, afternoon's training's about to begin. Coming. Well, see you around, Nick.
Mwah. I love Maya so much, she's so precious. Now I can watch the anime. Yeah, that's exciting. As for other quick points that I can think of, man, no, this last trial was way better mechanically, especially with all the minigames and stuff, which I believe are part of the later games. Really good stuff, man! This game just keeps going, and I know there's one more thing at the end, that's why I'm tagging along, and you're tagging along, because we didn't come all the way here to quit just yet.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth. I brought you your tea. Oh, what is this? Oh, what is going on?
Oh, that's it? Favorite character in this whole game. Favorite character. Edgeworth really turned around for me. At the beginning, because I only knew the memes about Edgeworth, so I was just like, oh, he's just a guy with ruffles on his face.
Thanks for coming to see me off, Mr. Wright. I can't believe I'm going to Europe.
Oh my god, the glasses!
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be alright. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book.
Oh, what's in here? What's in this?
Is that them as babbies?
Oh no. Oh my god, this is a great... Oh, it's so cute! A salute to you. A salute to you. Thank you, Capcom. This is a great game. I can't say when. If I do get around playing the next games, I can't say when. But if you want to go check them out, I recommend you do. These games are freaking fun. Can I actually go check out the art? Oh, I guess I can go check out that. But for the time being, though, this has been a really long recording session. It's literally like 11 at night. I gotta get out of here. Thank you for watching. This has been really fun. I hope they enjoyed the LP. And I hope they enjoyed my pseudo-analysis, my ridiculous voice work.
And, I'm hoping to see you on the next LP,
which will be coming down in a couple of days. Until then, we'll begin a new journey then. But until then, thank you so much for tagging along. If you followed this journey all the way through the end, thank you. Man, this was a crazy journey and a crazy finale, and I want to thank you for watching. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for spending quite a while tagging along in this ridiculous journey. And I will see you on the next one.